yeah. Nothing can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one, yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Susceptible now, before the moment flies.
All right. We already know what it is. It is Friday night, drink in hand. This is an episode in which you're gonna definitely need a drink in hand, boy. I'm gonna get on some nerves tonight. That's my goal. Get on some last nerves. I ain't got nothing else better to do. I'm on vacation mode. You can tell how I'm dressed right now. Dre is on vacation mode. He must not be doing anything but getting on people's nerves tonight. That's what I'm doing. That is the goal. We got a special guest coming through tonight, so y'all make sure y'all do not embarrass me. Make sure you click that like button like Stefano says. I like you. Make sure you like us too. We looking good with everything. Look at those colors just looking oh so vibrant. Looking oh so vibrant. Your boy looking good, feeling good tonight. Once again, I'm on vacation mode because this is somewhat of a vacation theme. Normally, I'm the guy that kind of like, since I live here and I've traveled throughout South America and I've traveled through other countries, I have a little bit of advice to share normally. Not this episode. This episode, I'm acting like I'm the newbie. I'm the vacationer coming from the States. I never been to Colombia before. I'm just brand new to this. I understand nothing. And our special guest is going to give us insight on, for new guys that are coming to South America, some safety tips, and we're going to talk about some mishaps and mistakes that guys often make and ignore when they come down here to South America. But before we do all that, we already know what time it is. Let's get this music going because it's going to be sounding oh so smooth, so cool. I got some new music coming through tonight too, come to think of it. Let's see how that sounds. Let me hear our sounds. Oh, yeah. Let me turn that down a bit. Yeah. Let me know if that sounds good, guys. Make sure you can hear it. Turn it up. If it's too high, let me know. All right, there we go. Let me turn that volume down right here on my phone, and we can get ready to get started. Once again, we already know what time it is when it comes to Friday. First thing we got to do, we're going to get this out of the way. We got to make sure that we give you guys your due justice. Time for the shout outs. All right, in the building already. We got the super chat, $5 super chat coming from a man, Big Noble Royalty. Noble, Big Royal. Can't get no better than that, man. That's like life goals right there. He says, shout out to Andre and or Andrea. Very informative and comedian. I try to keep the laughter going, brothers. Andre, you helped me get through my night as I'm driving my truck. Shout out to the truck driver brothers. I keep trying to give the shout out to the truck driver brothers. Y'all don't realize, man, let the truck drivers or the train conductors act like they ain't moving nothing throughout the United States or any country. This whole world is shut down. I mean it. This whole world was shut down if it wasn't for the truck drivers, the train conductors, and the ships mates and captains that deliver all this stuff for us across oceans, and I'll throw in the airplane pilots that deliver all the packages around. Shout out to all you guys, all you blue collar, white collar guys that's out there making all this happening for us. He said, I'm driving on the road. Much blessings. Blessings to you also, brother. We got Stefano in the building who always lets us know. Hola, mi gente, my people. He said, you know what time it is? We have a special guest in the house tonight. We got a guest. We got a guest in the house tonight. Stand up. Be ready for the guest coming through. Boy, I'm getting on his. If I'm getting on y'all nerves early, I'm definitely going to get on his nerves. Let me know what you guys are drinking tonight. I'm just drinking some protein and water. That's all I'm drinking tonight, a little protein and water. Looks like an elixir. I got about a month left before I go back to drinking my drinky drinks. But as for now, drink in hand. For me, it's protein. I don't care if you got a smoothie. I don't care if it's your favorite elixir, whatever you're enjoying this evening. Let me know what you guys are drinking. I don't care what you put off in there. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Had to use that. She ain't got no use for it. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right. Make sure you guys are subbing and make sure you guys click that like button. Shout out Stefano. EMB is the building. Buenas noches. Good evening, my brethren. We got Mike in the building. Yes. OG Dre. Yeah, we got a fire topic tonight, guys. We're going to talk about five areas where individuals need to focus on safety, no matter what country you go to, but also focusing on what are some of the mishaps or the mistakes that we make when we're traveling. Let me jump ahead to the super chat of my man, Black Nubian. Appreciate you, brother. Straight from Canada with the $2, with the $2.20 super chat. Appreciate that, brother. I really do, guys. For you guys that send out cash apps, if I forget you sometimes, blame it on my head, not my heart. Shout out to those in Facebook land that are watching live from Facebook. We don't forget about you guys. Do not think that we take you for granted. For those individuals that want to do a consultation with your boy, if you're coming to South America, I got a few consultations already scheduled. Make sure that you guys reach out to me. Let me know also, once again, if the music is too high, because you know I could talk too loud, let me know and I'll turn the music down because I can hear it quite well. All right, let's scroll down. Gabrielle's in the building. Just like Racket Club is represented in the building as well. My boy, shout out to Racket Club. Yaman, he says, what's up, Dre and chat family? Oh, man, we're going to have a good one, man. I love these grown folks conversations that we have. This is a good one. All right, KS had a smooth playlist. Yes, he did, man. I was listening to some KS playlist the other day. That's the funny part. This song never gets old. It doesn't, right? I thought it was just me, man. I can listen to that song no matter how many years goes by. I like that song, Good Lies. All right, here we go. Let's scroll down a little further. Oh, yeah. Tevin is in the building. Happy Friday to everyone. Yes. And plus, it's a holiday here in Colombia. Remember I said, if you in Colombia this weekend, I'm telling you, this was the weekend to be here. One of them. Because I'm going to tell you, they not only got paid this weekend, all, like I mentioned in some of the other episodes, all Colombian companies, when they hire their staff, a part of it is they have to pay them bonuses twice a year. They pay them a Christmas bonus, but then they pay them a middle of the year bonus as well. So they not only got their regular paycheck, they got their bonuses, and this weekend is a 3-day holiday. I know some pay-for-play chicks that's getting paid off the locals. They don't need y'all foreigners to come through because the locals are making all that money. All right. Shout out to you guys. Black Nubia is in the building once again. And Be Great 33 is in the building. What it do? All right. Shout out to you. That's what it do, brother. Shout out to you. My man Charles, coolest dude that I know. Uncle Dre with the Cuban joint on. Yeah, man, listen. This is exactly what I rocked in Cuba for real. Why you playing? That's for real. All right, Cologne for the night. Since I'm on vacation mode, the Cologne for this evening. I'm going to come back to your comment, Charles. Cologne for the evening is, I'm telling you, if you're a vacationer, dude, like I am, and you guys have seen me that showed it a few times, that Creed Let me see if I can get that name up there for you. That Creed Virgin Island water, that pina colada. If you like pina, dude, I'm telling you, that coconut, that rum, the whole gambit of pina colada with the milkiness, it makes you want to go out and be on vacation if you ain't on vacation. This is not really a nighttime going to the club scent. It is a beach. It is a Cartagena scent. It is a Dominican Republic scent. Any place, Pattaya, any place that got a beach, that's what this cologne is for. But as for the night, since I'm on vacation mode, yeah, we're going to do it because we got my boy in the building. Let me get ready to finish these shout outs and then we're going to invite our guest up. He said, hell, I hit the gym. He said, drinking hand tonight, Mexican lager. Oh man, that sounds good. That sounds good. Shout out to Jamal once again, Stefano. My man, Amin Black is in the building. Peace to the show. Do you feel leaving the United States is the best solution for Black people facing racism in the United States? Actually, no. I don't think everybody in the United States should leave the United States. I need y'all tax-paying asses to stay right where you are, paying them taxes so I can get all these tax breaks, okay? I'm like Trump. I take advantage of all the tax breaks. So I'm not about to sit up here and pretend like, no, everybody. And plus, we try to keep all the Pookies and the Ray Rays and Shanikas and LaQuishas right where they belong. They do not need to go anywhere. They should be passport. It should be an exam for them to get a passport. No, not everybody. For in regards to racism, and I got news for you. No matter where you go, and you're a person of color, you're going to have to deal with some form of racism or classism or something isms. It's going to be there. So no matter where you go in the world, you can go to Africa and you go deal with some type of classism or nationalism. You ain't from that particular country. You from the other part of Africa. So it's always something that we got to deal with. It's the crazy part. Let's scroll down a little further. Shout out once again to Black Newbie. Gabrielle's in the building and also showing love with the $5.50 super chat. Salute, Andre. Hope all is well. Today is a good day. I can say that we've actually had a good week. Our other channels are doing great, man. We're actually our other channel. We are 500 subscribers away from 120,000 subs. That was our. Yeah, come on. What y'all thought Love Crossing Borders was the only thing we did? No, we talked to old people over 65 years old. Shout out to the old people that we love. All right. Homie says, what up? I think that I'm going to make it down there in August, man. I hope you guys do. He said, I'm thinking about going from August 4th to the 26th. Man, you're going to have a great time coming down here doing that time. My man Louis in the building. Amber Ale. Man, y'all got some good beers, man. Y'all drinking tonight. I ain't mad at y'all. Enjoy your cervezas, brothers. Let me scroll down. Looks like I got everybody so far. Oh, Chris. Got Christopher in the building. Shout out to you all. Shout out. All right, guys. Tonight's topic, once again, it's a doozy. Let me turn the music down just a little bit. Just a little bit, because I want you guys to be able to clearly hear my guest as he speaks. So I'm turning it down to right about there. And with no further ado, the man that has saved many a life, helped many a family, encouraged many a person, and yet and still, we still don't have enough people listening to this man and subscribing to his channel. So if you haven't subscribed to his channel, guys, you're doing yourself a disservice, especially if you're coming down here to South America. And so with no further ado, my man in the building, the one and only DC Rob.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Andre? For a second, I thought you was talking about somebody else.
Oh, man, I knew you was looking around for a second like, who is this man? Introduce
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm introducing you, man. I'm so proud. First of all, I want to give flowers where flowers are due. I am so proud of you in the sense of introducing, countries and vacation and letting guys know that they can safely get on planes and safely make it back home, and also looking out for those that have lost loved ones in other countries, man. I think that's one of the things that makes your channel stand out so much. You don't do it in a gossipy way. You don't do it in a way to as if you were trying to clickbait people with the misfortune of others. You do it in a way to inform others, like, guys, you don't put yourself in a problematic situation. And so I appreciate that about you, Rob. I kid you not, man. The first thing I want to ask you is, how your day going, brother?
Good, man. I'm off work. After 5 o'clock, it got better. All of a sudden, man.
I do not miss them 5 o'clock days, because I usually, if it was everybody else getting off at 5, I was usually getting off at 8:30.
Yeah, for real. A lot of people think this is what I do for a living. No. I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 6:30, trying to do something real quick so that I can post by 4 o'clock, or researching up until midnight. A lot of people don't see what goes on behind the scenes, you know.
Yeah, people don't. It's a lot of work. That's one thing that I have respect for in regards to serious content creators, because it is work and it's patience, because you do put in the years. We're going on year 5 with almost 4.5 channels. And like I was just mentioning, you know, at one point in time, one of our channels got stagnant for a year at 106,000. Like a lot of people say, man, I wish I could get there. And it's no fun being stagnant in anything that you do. And we just kept pressing, putting out the information, putting out the content, and just being patient. And all of a sudden, last October, we threw out a video of a subject matter that we always hit every year on that channel, and it took off, and it's been nonstop ever since. And so we've really been blessed. And one of my goals was to hit 120,000. The next goal is 150, and our next goal is, and we're on pace to hit 150 by the end of the summer. And it looks like we're going to hit 200,000 at this pace by the end, man.
I heard you say 120. I was like, whoa, I had to write that down. Congrats, man.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that about us. A lot of people love crossing borders this side, and they don't know about Mostly Money. And Mostly Money people, you know, they're older people over the age of 65, so they don't know anything about this side. They don't know anything about Love Crossing Borders and Travel Unraveled and Andre Wallace TV. And so I really like having that dynamic that's completely different for one another, to give me a break from, you know, for one or another.
But that's just that much more work you're doing. I can just imagine, man, with editing. And all, people don't get what editing is. And then, but for me anyway, fighting against YouTube, it's been 4 years for me. And it's like, I'll post a video, it's news, and they'll flag me for it. So there goes the monetization. So I do not do this for the money, man. It is not about the money. It's solely to encourage people to travel and travel safely. That's it. Get there and get back. Tell me about the story. Tell me where I need to go next, you know?
That's it. That's it. A lot of guys don't realize that the safety part is important. So Rob and I, guys, we're going to talk about at least 5 areas, as I mentioned before, 5 areas of safety that you guys need to make sure, no matter where you go, don't forget. I know a lot of you guys have traveled to many places. We got you. But you are the easiest targets. I'm going to say this again, and Rob can attest to this as well. And I want to hear what you have to say about this. The easiest targets are not just the newbies anymore. The easiest targets are you guys that have traveled so much to now you let down your guards. And now, since you think you know Colombia and your Spanish is pretty good, you let your guards down, and here we go. You gone into neighborhoods you shouldn't have gone into, and you made it for 2 or 3 years. So you think you can do it the 4th year. And you guys are the easiest targets. Let me hear what you have to say in regards to that, Rob.
Yeah, man, I did a video, excuse me, I did a video, I guess, I don't know, 6 months ago. And I forgot what I entitled it, but it was pretty much, I got stressed and I just put it out there. I said, you guys are the prey. You know, they are the predator. They are watching and waiting for you to come. And some of them, it's not a short game when you get down there, wait for you to get down there. Some of them, it's a long game. So they've been working you online for 6 months to a year. And then you walk down there and think that, everything is ready for me. They're waiting for me. They're waiting for you already. All right. But not for what you expect. It's fish in a barrel. And now, since COVID stopped, it's more and more and more. You watch, you know how many more people are coming every year, especially to Medellin. Everybody goes to Medellin first.
Yes.
So especially all the tourists. So more and more are coming, probably doubling exponentially every year. So and then the more fish you put in that barrel, the easier it is for them to set you up. And it's not just one person that's coming after you, man. I'm always aware who's looking, somebody's always watching. So
Yep.
you guys got to be prepared and know that somebody's always watching it. And everybody's heard this, the common comebacks: keep your head on a swivel, always looking around. I mean, but when I lived there, it wasn't an issue. If you're in a neighborhood, you're used to it. You just stay away from the tourist areas and certain situations, let's say, that you put yourself in at midnight, 3 a.m., and you're out drinking, because let's face it, after that first drink, you're not yourself. You let your guard down after
don't let that slide. Don't let that slide by. Repeat that one. Yeah,
one drink, and you're not yourself. So you're not drunk, but you're not yourself. I mean, it changes. Even if you just, let your inhibitions down just a little bit, somebody's always watching. And they're always, when you see somebody on the phone, you don't know who they're talking to. You don't know who your Uber driver's calling. Man, there's been times where one time I went down, I slipped. And I don't think it was there. I forget. Maybe it wasn't there. Maybe it was, I don't know, El Salvador or Honduras or something. And I forgot and had my ring on. And as I handed him my passport, I could see him looking at my ring. And right then I start, okay. Where am I going to put this thing? How did I bring it? I'll turn it around, but still, I got it. I made a mistake and forgot. Now I have levels, okay? I don't wear jewelry at all to Colombia. And I tell people, don't wear anything shiny. Don't bring tinfoil with you. Don't bring a metal cup with you. Something
That's right.
draws attention from a distance, man, and they're watching. They're always watching. So be careful.
And the sad part, Rob, I'll sit back and I have on Instagram, there's it's like people in Cali, Colombia have their own Instagram page. And so whenever anything is recorded, it automatically, whether it be weather on one side of town to the other side of town, it in seconds, whatever's going on in Cali, because everybody's got their cell phones out at one point in time or another, and they post on this website. And I sit back and I see even what the locals go through as far as if they ride their bike and then all of a sudden 4 bikes surround them and take their stuff and take their bike. So even if locals are going through this and they have to be wise in the locations that they go, so it is also with us. Don't sit back and one of the things that I say, Rob, and let me know how you feel about this. You don't have to agree with me or not. I often say this: if you can, abstain from pay for play on the first day. If you can, abstain from pay for play on your first day. And I say it, the reason I say this, Rob, is this: you're just getting off a 5-6 hour flight. And if you're coming from California, you've been flying almost half the day. You're hungry. You're somewhat still sleepy. Now you're going out with your boys, and like you said, now you're drinking. And if you smoke a little something, and you smoking a little something, now you want to get involved in pay for play with a female that you just met in the club, and you don't know her from anybody. So a lot of times, and here's the other one: if it's your first time, your eyes are like this, so you really can't see Colombia or Medellin for what it is because your eyes haven't dilated back down yet, in regards to the beauty. And so I often say that if you're getting off that plane your first night and you're sleepy and you're hungry and you're drinking and you're smoking, and now you're trying to meet this female in the club, that's a cocktail at least on the first day, for something not to go right, for you to make a bad decision. So oftentimes I say, hey, get their phone numbers, get their information. There's nothing wrong with collecting the ladies' information, but on your first day, get your mind right, get your mind clear. And then the next day, even if you're there for 3 days, at least the first day, you allow yourself to get some mental clarity. What do you say about that? Like I said, you don't have to agree or disagree, but I want to hear what your take is when I say that.
Well, I would say if that's what you're going for. If that's what you're going for. I mean, you just mentioned a whole bunch of, they do all that in one night, smoking and drinking all that in one night and trying to catch up with the girl. That's a bit excessive. I'm just trying to get a haircut and get something to eat, man.
Right.
Maybe get a drink. But I mean, I don't do paper play anyway on the street. I mean, that's out anyway for me. But then, again, I am a little bit older than most to go down there. Guys gonna go regardless of what we or anybody else say. I say this: there could be a war in the streets. Guys still gonna go.
True.
They still gonna be out there that first night too. And the girls there are not like here. They're beautiful women. I mean, when I say beautiful, I mean, I went to Thailand, I did a comparison. And when it came to girls, that category, man, you can't touch Colombia. For me anyway, out of anywhere else I've been in the world, and I've been to quite a few countries, I've never seen women that good looking. And and if you're not used to it, and you know that for whatever amount of money, you can have a good time that night. But if you don't know your surroundings, number one, from where your hotel is to where like the park, and I'm talking about Medellin. If you're going to Medellin and you're going to Parquilleras, you don't know the distance or which streets to cut down. I mean, there's some streets I wouldn't cut down. Now, 4 years ago, oh man, not a problem. I'll walk anywhere by myself, drinking, drunk. Now, no. And even during COVID, oh, no. And it's only gotten worse now.
I remember my first trip to Medellin. I got lost walking back to my Airbnb twice. And my Airbnb was literally in the heart of Parquilleras, not across the street, not on the corner. I didn't know any better. I had got an Airbnb, and even the young lady I was with that I met a few days later, she said, "How do you take this music being so loud?" And I said, and I let her know I didn't know that I was literally in the heart of Parquilleras at that time period. And it wasn't as bad as it was over the past couple of years, because this was like in 2017. And but I got lost just walking back to my Airbnb, and I was like, I think it's back this way. So just imagine your first night, just getting off the plane. You haven't had much to eat except for maybe a Subway sandwich. You're going to you're in Parquilleras, you're drinking. Now, if you're by yourself solo, you're trying to remember where your Airbnb is walking back. All this is a bad cocktail. Like I said, fortunately for me, it happened to me during a time period where it wasn't as bad in Parquilleras, because it really wasn't as famous as it is now. But I couldn't imagine being lost looking for my Airbnb out there on those Parquilleras streets now, because when I went back a few years later, it's a completely different animal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just made that story worse by saying solo. If you go by yourself, now get this too, and make it even worse. This is your first time flying internationally. I really don't recommend that at all. I mean, I don't say you should go or you should not go. I stopped that 6 months to a year. You're gonna go, you're not gonna go, whatever. But I mean, when you're out there by yourself, you don't know anybody, and let's make it even worse. You don't speak Spanish. Okay, so, and this is happening. Guys are going first time international, by themselves, don't know anybody, don't speak Spanish, only watch these videos, the videos, the girls walk around with the butt or walk around Parquilleras, and they probably know Parquilleras just as like they've been there already. They don't watch it so many times. And you're by yourself and you sit there, and I don't know if you've seen my videos recently about a scammer that's going after Americans.
Wow.
Like portraying himself as an American. Hey, how you doing? So you're at peace. You're drinking, you're sitting there drinking, and all of a sudden you're nervous. You can't speak to anybody, because when I first went there, I mean, I speak a little Spanish. I speak more now, but the struggle is real. I mean, maybe in some commercial areas they speak a little English, but it's a struggle, and they speak so fast. And you got más despacio. It's a struggle. So you don't speak Spanish. You're by yourself. You're nervous. You heard all the stories. You're not wearing gold. You don't have your hat, your shorts, and flip flops, all that stuff. You're taking all the precautions you can, but you're a mark. They're watching you, and you don't even recognize it. And when you don't speak Spanish, somebody could be talking right in front of you. Hey, you want to rob this guy? Yeah, this guy right here in the black. Yeah, rob him. Okay, you have no idea. Let's follow him home. Or from the airport, even worse. But this scammer is in America. Well, we think he's part Colombian and can't go back to the United States, but we know he lived in the United States, in New York.
Wow.
And he's gotten dozens. I have a list of over 50 people that he got for the past 5 years.
Wow.
Over 50 people.
So how does the scam work? What is he doing?
Well, he's scamming you for $1 here. Well, and it could be worse, but he'll go out, he'll meet you at the mall. Somebody will recognize this cat too. He'll meet you at the mall, over at Santa Fe Mall, and he say, hey, where you from? And the thing is, I'd heard the story for years, but not until I was there, like last December. I was sitting next to Gusto's, and I was sitting my back against the wall, and I heard, hey, where you from? So I go, oh no, that's the dude. I actually caught him in action. So he that was his downfall right there, because then I was after him. And it was a black dude, about 6'3", had dreads on. Yeah, I'm from so-and-so. Man, it's a struggle. Nobody speaks. I hear him saying, yeah, nobody speaks English, man. It was nice to meet somebody from the United States. And now you let your guard down. And so he's drinking with you. He'll walk up on the tab. He'll say, can you loan me $100 million? I need to go grab some cigars. That's his MO. I want to go grab some cigars. Next thing you know, he don't come back with that. Or he says, okay, you want this t-shirt? He got one of my other buddies. You want a t-shirt? I'm gonna go get some cigars. I'll get you this. Oh, I'll pick your girl up in the car. I'll pay for the taxi and all that. Just give me the money and I'll handle it. That's one way. Or another dude in a hotel. Went to the hotel. He didn't understand. They didn't understand him. He didn't understand them. He walks in. Oh, I'll speak to him. Don't worry. He talks to him in Spanish. He says, okay, let's go on up in the room. Here's the card. The guy came down, says, where's the ice room at? I need to do something. And the guy said, well, the guy that was here, we gave you the key to look at the room, but you didn't pay for the room. So he took the money for the room and scooted. So it's just time after time. It may be 100 mil, maybe 500 mil. And a lot of guys don't want to talk about it, so they didn't come on. I mean, I've had people talk about it on camera, but some have mentioned that he's offering drugs and girls, and that's never good. Now, he ran into because I'm like, how can he do this for 5 years? He ran into the wrong brother last year at the Dew Park, like 2 blocks south of Parque Yodas. And they busted him. Police came because they weren't gonna let him go. You ain't going nowhere. It was a big dude too. Said you ain't going nowhere. And one of the guys said, look on the floor. It was a little teeny baggie with some white stuff in it. So he's bad news all the way around. But that's just one guy. That's just one guy. It's teams of people. It's organized. And guys, if you can get anything from me tonight, half of you not gonna listen anyway, but stay off the apps. Stay off the dating apps. Stay off the dating apps. Stay off the dating apps. I don't know how many times from Saturday I can say it. It's organized. Not only is it fish in a barrel, but you're jumping in the barrel and saying and calling the people to come shoot you. It's obviously that we've lost a lot of people over the past year. Americans, maybe 4.
Yeah.
But not just Americans. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
We're gonna look at, and you're absolutely correct. We're gonna take time out to look at one of your latest videos. Yeah, I got one of your latest, and this one is in regards to the couple, to where and I want to hear your commentary afterward. But this was in regards to the couple that got robbed a couple weeks ago, and they were basically walking, had their phone recording, probably for their content for their channel, and the next thing you know, this is what takes place. So we're going to look at this particular video, guys. I'm about to turn this music down, but actually put it on pause so we can hear everything from my man DC Rob. Let me pull this up on screen. Let's see if I got it right. Okay, I got us there, here.
There is video of the actual attack and a picture of the guy that attacked them, at least one. There were 2, as you can see the hands coming around their mouths. Well, let's just jump into the video and the story right quick.
Nie tanio, 900, więc tak to, no ale cóż, nie ma co się tymi kosztami nieuniknionymi przejmować, bo my się nastrajamy dzisiaj pozytywnie, jeśli chodzi o... I was attacked by two men, and one of them hit me on my head by knife. And yeah, I have a really big headache right now. I need to block my bank account and stuff like this. Crazy.
The mayor of Medellin offers a reward for those who provide information on those responsible for a robbery on Cerro El Volador. Since yesterday, June 4th, a video began to circulate on social networks that exposes two people who allegedly robbed two foreigners. The two Polish foreigners were attacked by two men when they were walking on Volador in Medellin. Faced with what happened, the mayor of Medellin, Daniel Quintero, offers a reward of 10 million pesos. In his official Twitter account, he released the information that says, "I have asked my General Acevedo for the maximum attention to find the capture of this thief. The mayor's office offers a reward of up to 10 million pesos for information that allows us their immediate capture and prosecution."
Yeah, this is one of those situations just really sad because it happens like one of those live, as it happens type of scenarios. Just really, really sad.
Yeah, if I slowed it up a little bit later too, because you can see the hand come around one of them and grab the woman. That happened so fast, but they grabbed the woman around. But can you imagine? I'm more concerned for the woman. She's got to be so. I mean, I'm sure he is too. I would be, but you're supposed to be the man, protect your woman, and all of a sudden that happens. One of my viewers, and the good thing is I have a lot of good expat viewers there too. One of my viewers said that they had met. They were on the mountain and they had met down below. In other words, it was two criminals. It wasn't just that one guy. That's just the one we have a picture of. But there were two of them, and that they had spoken to them prior to them getting up that far. So maybe that helped them to let their guard down. They'd already talked to them. Hey, how you doing? Whatever. But some of those mountains, man, when you get halfway up, like Los Cruces is, I mean, I walk. When I did that the first time, I was like, are we there yet? We not? You up that high, it's like, and there's no cops. Maybe at the top. Maybe there's some now, but I mean, no, man. Halfway up, there's nothing you can do. No one can even hear you scream, except other hikers. But one thing I will say is, if Colombians are not like Americans, they will get involved. If they catch you in a crime, stealing, snatching a purse, it is over. They will do you. I have more video than I can think of the police protecting the criminal from being killed. They're trying to arrest them, but while they're trying to arrest them, the public is coming out and stomping them. And I mean stomping them and beating them and hitting them with pipes and just, yeah, you don't want to get caught.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
That street justice is so real down here in Colombia, and as it should be, because the locals are tired of the reputation. The locals are also tired of these gangs robbing them. It's already enough to be in a country where you don't have a Second Amendment, and you have to go through so much training and so forth, and have a certain amount of money to even get a firearm to protect yourself and your family. And then the little that the average person makes is enough as is. And you want to rob me? The locals are so frustrated. I've seen people attack a thief on a train. I mean, on a bus, because of trying to rob an old man. So it's just the people locally are even tired of it, no matter what city you go to. And so I agree with you 100% in regards to that street justice. It is 100% real here in Colombia.
They don't play, man. My favorite one, the guys had a gun on the back of the motor, and he dropped it. Oh my God. While he had the gun in his hand, though, they were throwing sticks and bottles and bricks around, and the guy in the front couldn't get the bike to start. I got to find that video. But he dropped that gun. That was it. It was a wrap. I don't know if they survived that, because there wasn't any police around. So I don't see them surviving that. And when I say not surviving it, I mean they are for real. You'll come and pick up the body. They don't play. It's not like here. Nobody wants to get involved. When somebody's robbing an old lady, we'll call the police or pull out a camera. That's what they do nowadays. They'll record it, but they won't get involved.
Yeah,
they don't play down there. Different
you
world.
See the video that I sent you from our place. Nothing ever happens over here. This is the quietest neighborhood. Nothing but old people. We've been here for going on 5 years, and to see somebody break into somebody's house, and this happened this week, guys. Andrea, I'm here editing. We haven't had a chance to tell you guys this story. I'm in here editing, and I hear Andrea, shouting out to me, "Andre, come here." And so I get up and I leave out. As I leave out, I'm hearing gunfire, pow, 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 pow. And I'm like, what's going on? Because that never happens over here in this neighborhood. Just library quiet. Just a bunch of old people that own their properties. That's it. And all of a sudden come running out of one of the apartments. As I get downstairs, something Andrea is downstairs. I didn't know she was upstairs on a terrace looking down. And I walk outside. All of a sudden, I'm hearing commotion out of our across the street, literally straight across the street neighbor's house. And you're seeing shadows going back. And it's like domestic violence type of boom, boom, boom. Furniture. You just hear it just crazy. And all of a sudden you hear, playa, playa. And you see this dude come running out. And the next thing you see 3 police officers come running behind him. Playa, and just blood just splattering all over the apartment and the building across the street. And the people's house across the street. And so this guy, instead of having the EMS help him, and instead of having the police arrest him, he decides that since the robbery didn't go right, he decided that he wanted to die right there on the spot. So he started hollering. As the more the EMS tried to help him, and the more the police officers tried to help him, the more he started yelling, human rights in Spanish, and was letting them know, I have the right to die. And so they were like, you know what? If you want to bleed out right here, and I got a bunch of footage. I got more to send you. But if he wanted to bleed out, they just stood back. And the next thing you know, the police officers got in a group over here. EMS just walked over to their cars. They didn't care. The people that owned the house, they were trying to convince him, get some help. He just bleeding out. And so he died right there, just bleeding out. Yeah.
I was going to ask you what happened. Did he die?
Yeah, he died right there. And he
a robbery.
Yeah, because just for a robbery, he broke into people's houses, and they called the police. Somebody called the police, and when the police came up in there, and he started trying to fight. We don't know if he was on drugs or something, but even while he was full of bullet holes, this dude was still trying to fight the police, even when he was cuffed. And so we're looking like, so by this time I'm up on the terrace with Andrea. That's when I started filming. I sent you to film the footage because I'm able to look down, and even you can still see him tussling with the police. Like, dude, you are bleeding out like crazy. What are you doing? And you see the blood spots. I showed you and so forth. And they're still cleaning blood off the wall of their house, which is so sad. But this is the one thing that we want to convey to you guys. First of all, this is not the norm in Colombia. That's one of the reasons why I wanted Rob to be here, is to encourage you guys to know that most Colombians are not like the tales that we're telling. Most Colombians are really down to earth, just like people in the States. Go to work, go home, raise your family, and just enjoy their lives. So when you come to Colombia, don't think that this is the norm that we're talking about, but we are saying be safe, correct?
Exactly. I do the news. The news is not pretty all the time. If you cut on the news, like I said, if I cut on the news in my city on a Monday and find out what happens over the weekend, it'd be way worse than that. Family disputes, there's killings everywhere. But I feel totally safe. Because number one, I don't walk in those areas. I'm not out, at 2:00 in the morning drinking near any of those areas. I'm not out in a bar parking lot at 2:30 in the morning, because that's when that stuff really happens here. In the U.S., it does not happen as frequent as it looks. I get people to look at a video like this and say, "Well, I'm not going now." Well, these are anomalies. It doesn't happen all the time, and I only pick stories really that have to do, unless they're just so egregious. That has to do with tourists or visitors or expats. So that's what my channel is about, is just putting out the news. Hence the reason I get flagged. I'll put something up, and that video got flagged. Guaranteed. Oh, I guarantee it. Anytime. Robbery, it's just, you use, I don't sugarcoat any words. I'm not going to say he got banged. I'm not going to try to come up with another word. I'm reading the story. Right. So if the story says a word, I'm going to say the word. It's the news. It's the same like the news here. It is what it is. I think it's best to know before you go and take the tips. Don't just watch that one video of mine. I looked earlier. I think I have almost 750 videos. So there's a lot more videos over the past few years, and not all about that. Today I put up about taking tours. So, but it's all about expats and visitors. But yeah, I mean, it's not the norm. So don't let certain stories like this keep you from going. When I lived there, man, my people in my neighborhood were just as cool. They knew who I was. And when you live there and you know everybody knows you, it's just you are. And as long as you, let me tell you something, as long as you keep your mouth shut, you are Colombian.
True.
First of all,
True.
Once you live there for a while, they know, because you've already had to talk to them. But anywhere around the city, just keep your mouth shut. Chances are, I mean, let your blonde, blue-eyed 6'5", I mean, I can pass. I've been on the tram up in the, I get this like 3 modes of transportation. I forget what it's called, the tram up in the air. And
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like 5 other people on there, and they need to go look at it, and they talking real fast, and they laughing. You know what I did? I laughed too. Yeah. I ain't say a word though. I'm like, let me get up off of here. Yeah, but
I know exactly what you're talking about, like the cable.
Exactly. Yeah. I just get
we
Metro
got that
cable.
here.
Metro cable in
Got that here. Yep.
Yeah, but they have Metro Car. They have the Metro 2. They have the bus, the long bus. They got all kind of stuff.
And you're right about the mountain climbing. We do that here in Cali because people have certain days, like Sunday, climbing up the mountain of Tres Cruces here in Cali as well. People go in groups. So you'll see that at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, you'll start to see a group of 3, a group of 2, a group of 5, a group of 7. And all of a sudden, everybody's going kind of like the same time that we can watch each other's backs, because we know that in those hills, every blue moon, there's some young bandits that's in those hills. And if you get caught, if it's just me and Andrea walking up the hill, it's easy for them to get us. But if it's several people, they kind of like leave everybody alone. So everybody kind of like walks up the hill somewhat in like a, you give each other space, but you kind of still walk in a group to where you're like maybe 5 or 10 paces away from each other.
Exactly. I did it in a group in Medellin too. Yeah. And it's just so sad that 98% of Colombians aren't like that, and it's that those few that make it look so bad. So bad. Most of Colombian areas are really nice. Most areas of South America are really nice, but just like in the States, it's just those few people that make areas look really, really bad as far as crime. But it's not as bad as you guys might think. Just like Rob said, like me, I don't go to east side of Cali. I often say that. I don't suggest it. When I do Airbnbs, I tell guys, no, get the Airbnb over here where everything is in close proximity. There's over 30 brothers that live on this side of Cali alone that's from the States. Everything is in walking distance, 3 or 4 grocery stores, the hospitals, the clubs, the mall, everything is within a 5 to 10 minute walking distance. So whenever I make a suggestion during consultation, I always say, I always send them, if I send you 20 Airbnbs, it's going to be out in this area or within a 15 to 20 minute radius of this area. So when Rob says that there are certain areas that he doesn't frequent, that's how I am. Stop trying to, one of the bits of advice that I have, and let's get started with the 5 on the list, actually, because number 1 is crime hotspots and avoiding dangerous areas. That's number 1, guys. No matter if you are a seasoned veteran in certain countries and you've been in those areas, you got a girlfriend in that area, still you have to watch your back if you are going into areas that are high crime, as well as if these areas are often dangerous. Have her come to you. Why are you going up in like in the Medellin area? Why are you going up in the Bejo? Well, because my girl live over there. She told me, no, this just, I mean, that's just straight nuts. Have her come to you and you call the Uber. Because if you don't know who dropped her off. You don't know if that's her brother, her husband is sitting in the car. You don't, and you met her on some app. I mean, guys, stay away from the apps again. I can't emphasize that enough. But yeah, if you stay out of certain areas, then I tell people too, if you're going to stay in Poblado, I suggest a couple of places. If you're going to be in an Airbnb, make sure you have a guard. It's just certain basic things. But stay in Laureles. Everything's flat. Everything's calm. It's mostly families. I mean, yeah, there's crime everywhere, but I mean, mitigation is what this is about. So how can you mitigate the possibility of you getting got? And
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Now, I was going to just say staying out of the wrong area is the best thing you can do to mitigate that right off the start.
Also, I like Lorelis in Medellin because it's flat.
Exactly.
It's flat. At Parque in El Poblado, you got a lot more hills to deal with, like you're in Atlanta, compared to Lorelis, which is more like Chicago flatland. So I do appreciate that part, and it's just as modern and just as beautiful as the El Poblado area as well. So so you're saving a bang for your buck when you're over there. So whenever Andre and I go to Medellin, we're always in the Lorelis area compared to El Poblado. So as we were saying, guys, make sure that you don't go into areas that you kind of have this iffy. You've already heard from DC Rob, you've already heard from me, and you know that area is iffy. I know as a man, we hard-headed. I got it. You can't tell us nothing. Got it. That's how societies were created. Men and our stubbornness. Got it. It worked for us. But there's a time for, the Bible also says there is safety in the counsel of many. Sometimes listen to your counsel and make sure that you do not go to those areas. Even me personally, Rob, I don't even deal with the temptation of when I was single. I didn't deal with the temptation of even being with women from certain areas. So I didn't have to say my girlfriend lived in Bayo. Why? I don't deal with nothing from Bayo. So it was certain locations that a person that I knew that was a quality person had to come from a quality area. I wasn't looking for her to be rich, but I really wasn't looking for somebody to be in strata, like EMB. He said most Americans will be in a minimum of stratas or zone 4, average 5 or 6. I'm looking for somebody from zone 3, 4, 5. I wasn't looking to date anybody when I was in Medellin and from zone 1 and zone 2. And that was one of my safety hacks for me, to not being, acting like I'm better than, but acting like, since I don't know that area and I don't know the type of people from that area, I'm not going to pretend like, since she cool, that her cousin's cool. And, like you said, they could be plotting right in front of you. But since your Spanish is not, proficient, you can get got by somebody you think that's really cool.
I think the first time I went for business 6 or 7 years ago. At first I said, so where are you located? I'll come down and visit for you and do a demonstration and check the sites out, see what issues you're having. And they said, we're in Colombia. And I thought, okay, what you think? Okay, if you've never been, you think, okay, right off the bat. And he says, well, I asked, what part of Colombia? He said, Medellin. I said, okay. And I went, man, fell in love with the place. Yeah. Totally fell in love with the place. But I remember leaving their office and going to one of their stores. What's the name of this chicken place? It's a famous chicken place, almost like our KFC. I can't think of it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Starts with a B, an F or something.
It'll come to me. But anyway, as we're going over there, I always saw the houses, and then I thought the word favela. I said, can we go up there and look around? And they said, no. I said, no. I said, come on, for real. Can we just drive through? They said, oh, no, Rob, no. I said, are you serious? We can't drive our car through a neighborhood? They said, no, we can't go up there. I said, that's 2 years before I moved there, 4 years ago. And wow. So they put that in my mind right there. Don't even go up there. But now my charity is up on Comodoro Ocho, El Faro neighborhood. And it's rough. But I'm going with my guide, and it's part of a tour. So it's totally different. It's not like I get off the gondola and start walking around, which some guys do, because there's a stop on one of the trams that let you off in the neighborhood, almost like Camino 13, but it's not. By the way, Camino 13 is still run by the gangs. When you go up the escalator, there's a guy from the gang, well, I won't say gang, but let's say somebody from a representative from the neighborhood. Let's call him that. Him, and then there's a guy with a girl with a vest on from the government. Then you go up to the next escalator. There's a guy or a girl a guy normally from the neighborhood. They control that area, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, they're making money, and they're making money off of tourists when they start dancing and flipping, but the whole goal is to make money from you. So there's like a hands-off policy, of course. but that's still community. If you remember the history, it's got its history. So, be careful wherever you go, especially if you're by yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Now, fortunate for me, even though I went down by myself, I was right around the corner from Ace Live. That's when we first met. He had only 200 subscribers, and he was just encouraging guys. Hey guys, this is like 2017, late 2017, and he was so I hit him up. He had just did an interview on Russell's original TaylorMade Dream channel. This is Russell's second TaylorMade Dream. His original channel, he had did an interview with Ace. And so I hit Ace up in his comments of one of his channels. I said, man, I would like to come down there and, really get to see the area, because I'm already living in Florida and all my friends are Colombian anyway in the Tampa area. So Ace said, man, it'd be great for you to come down. So fortunately, even though I went down solo, I wasn't solo during the whole trip. It was just that first day. Mm-hmm. And I still got lost being solo and excuse me. And couldn't find my Airbnb it had to be, man, not my Airbnb, but hotel. I won't lie. Twice it took me about a good 30 minutes walking around Parque Yeras to find where my hotel room was. My hotel was, and I actually probably walked past it twice. But those are learning curves, and like I said, at that time period, it wasn't as problematic. We got 95 people in the house. Make sure you guys click that like button. Let's hit these super chats for these brothers real quick. Shout out to my man Will. Will says salute to Dre, DC Rob, and everybody. Drink in hand tonight. Crown on the way. You bring some Crown down? All right, deal. Hey, Rob, I mentioned one time that I was, I hadn't had any Crown Royal in forever. And guys have been bringing me been blessing me with bottles of Crown Royal every time they come down. So we've got so many varieties of Crown Royal, and I appreciate that, guys, when you bring it down. Okay. Also, we got Cool Cat. He said, sidebar, Rob, what are your favorite go-go bars?
Go-go bands.
Go-go bands, my bad. Yeah, go-go
Essence,
bands.
Man. Essence. DC. Yeah, I had somebody send it to me earlier, man. If you're from DC, you know what go-go is. It's got to be Essence. Essence, number one. Then, what band now is good? Vibe Band. Check Vibe, B-Y-B-E band. Check that out. Subtle Thoughts. Man, there's a few of them. But if you go way back, my band, when I was 18, 19, was Trouble Funk. It was okay.
I remember Trouble Funk.
Yeah, Backyard's okay. But yeah, Essence is it, man. I watch go-go I was watching it an hour ago. One of the guys in my we have a private group too with about 900 people in it. One of the guys know I like go-go, so he sent me something from DC, like a festival, and it was Essence and Backyard, man. Man, every day I listen to go-go. So if anybody asks what my intro music is, that's go-go. I made it though, but it is go-go. Yeah,
that is go-go. I'm just thinking, the whole time you listen to it, you just think, okay, it's an intro. But now you mentioned it, I'm like, oh, that is go-go. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about that for a split second before we go to number 2. Mm-hmm. Why is DC so when did it start with go-go in DC? Because go-go is like DC's version of restarted hip-hop type of thing. Because if you think of go-go, you automatically think DC. It's just part of the makeup.
Mm-hmm. As soon as people hear from the DMV, they know. They click. Anybody from the DMV that wants to go to Colombia, fall in, they hear my intro, they go, oh yeah. Hit like, I'm subscribing right now, because then they know I'm from DC. Straight off the bat, alone, without hearing DC Rob, DC Born Rob, whatever, they know that's go-go. It's when I was, the Godfather is Chuck Brown, and it's a Chuck Brown All-Star band now, but Chuck Brown, the Soul Searchers, was like the initiator he coined the phrase go-go because it don't stop. It's like they realized that the percussion is, when there's a break in a song, a breakdown in a song, they start playing, all of a sudden they have a little breakdown where it's instrumental, that piece. So they started putting all those pieces together and realized that people stopped dancing at the end of the song at a live event. So if you want people to continue on, keep the music going. So they put that in the middle of it, and the song. Let me tell you something. You be there 4 hours and the song don't end. You won't know when one song starts and one ends. And I've showed up at Go-Go's, man, at 4 o'clock in the morning, coming from another club. The walls are sweating. The floor is wet, like at a school, that like marble floor, like the floors are there. The floors and the walls are sweating just from the heat generated by these people. But Chuck Brown initiated it. And then it was Trouble Funk, EU, everybody knows from Doing the Butt. But that's commercial go-go. That's not
right.
That's, that's not go-go. I mean, it's go-go, but it's still go-go today. But if you go back and you listen to old rap got started with go-go too. Listen to some Salt and Pepper, Herbie the Love Bug, all that stuff, man. I can't. What's their name? Salt and Pepper song with a go-go beat. What, they actually put it in there? Or
It's Your Thing.
Yeah, that's it.
It's Your Thing was go-go.
Watch, even if Justin Timberlake goes to DC, there's a go-go breakdown. If Fantasia comes, type in Fantasia go-go. Oh, girl goes off on some go-go.
Oh, man, I've seen Fantasia in concert maybe 6 times, man.
Because
I'm very much so of a live band. I've been to over 250 concerts. I saw Beyonce when she first. Check it out. This is how long I've been going to. I went to the first Fresh Fest with Run DMC, Fat Boys, Houdini, LL Cool J, Beastie Boys.
I saw that in Virginia. Yep.
Yeah, and I remember when Missy Elliott's first tour was Lady's first tour. It was with Beyonce. Had just left Destiny Child with her first album. Missy Elliott was like on her second album. Alicia Keys was on her first album. In the single Tamia out of Miami, Grant Hill's wife, she was on her first album. So it was Ladies First, and it was in Chicago. I saw it, and so I've been going to concerts, Cincinnati Jazz Festival, the Essence Festivals, concert tours. Concert cruises, because I've been on like 7-8 different cruise ships, and so I've always been into live music. So I'm starting to even look for live bands down here, and they even have jazz festivals down here, all day jazz festivals here in Colombia. I like the fact that you just in some of your latest videos talked about some of the concerts, some of the live music that's in the park, and the live concerts that are coming, and some of the shows that are taking place in Medellin that guys don't take advantage of. Andre and I have been to 4 salsa concerts, major concerts, since we've been here. Everybody from, we've seen Mark Anthony to Victor Manuel to Grand Combo. We just saw Grand Combo 3 months ago. And so the LeBron brothers. And so we have been I've been introducing Andre to live music like I like it as well. So, and salsa concerts, man, they don't end till like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like
you're till 1 o'clock.
Yeah, like the entertainer you waiting for, that person might not, the live, the main entertainer might not come on stage till like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. Man, you heard Mark Anthony live? Man, he's at the top of my list. I would kill to get Mark Anthony. Man,
listen, Mark Anthony live in concert. I've been to a lot of concerts, man. And I would have to say, as far as my favorite is Charlie Wilson. I've seen him twice, man. That energy is crazy. But the only person I could say that keeps nonstop energy as if every song is the last song, Mark Anthony. He sings every song like it's the outgoing, the outro. This is it. And you like, man, it's just the third song. Every song he does it like that. It's like a performance of every song. Like each song is his own concert. The dude really puts on a really good show. We've seen him twice, man.
Yeah, man, wherever I go, any country. I was in Guatemala a week ago. First thing I type in, I go to maps and type in live music.
Oh, yeah.
Live music. It used to be, if it's in the U.S., I type in liquor store, then live music. But I'm going to hit some live music wherever I go. And I heard it.
And that's a good thing that guys need to start taking advantage of when you guys are in other countries. You want a good time to go hang, like Andre and I often say, Colombians don't date, they hang out. If you want to find a great place to hang out with a young lady, find out when some of the concerts are going on, or some of the clubs that have the live bands, because these women really appreciate that. even live reggae, like we all know that Medellin is a reggaeton capital. There's a lot of great concerts and performers that are coming through that are a part of the past of reggaeton, as well as some of the up and coming bands. Cali is the capital of not just salsa music, but also Latin R&B. Some amazing talent is coming out of Cali when it comes to R&B music, but they only, and it sounds like the 80s R&B, but they're singing it in Spanish. And it's these brothers and sisters that can sing just as good as Luther and Freddie Jackson, but they have a Spanish twist on old school R&B, and so they have that going on down here, and you can see those concerts a lot as well.
Absolutely, man. Live music wherever I go, man. There's a girl there, Latifa. If you ever look her up, man, I fell in love with that little girl. She can sing, and it's reggae, not reggaeton. I'm a reggae person, not reggaeton. I like reggae roots.
See, I'm getting off at down here. You have a lot of Afro beats down here as well. Yeah, Jay just said it too. Yeah, you got a lot of Afrobeat performers down here in Colombia, in Medellin. I mean, I'm not just in Medellin, but in anytime you have a large Black population, such as Santa Marta and Cartagena and Cali, you have that Afrobeat is starting to take place in those locations as well. But let's get ready to go to numero dos, number two. Number two thing that you guys need to make sure that you look out for is petty theft and pickpockets. You guys often come down to Colombia and see the women, and they'll have their cell phones right there, their jeans right in the front. It's very common to see women with that. You see guys, they have pockets. They make sure that it's deep enough to keep their cell phones to where it's not sticking out, or they'll have their cell phone in their backpacks. Or if you're a person from the States like I am, I have my regular phone, but then I have an old Motorola phone that I'll take to the gym with me. As long as the Wi-Fi is working, I'm good. And I could call Andrea from this cheap Motorola, which is $100, $50, $100 Motorola that I've had for like 5-6 years that's still working, instead of taking my $1,200 Samsung with me to the gym. And if anything happens, whether I lose it or whether somebody tries to pickpocket me, I would feel less upset because of this compared to this, knowing that I could have just walked out the door with this instead of trying to showboat Andre by carrying this. So that's one of the things that I do. So if you guys can get you just an inexpensive phone, a spare one, that would be good for you to do. So just in case pickpocketing take place or some type of petty theft, because I kid you not, and I'm going to let Rob speak, most of what takes place in Colombia, guys, with tourists are usually petty thefts. I'm about to come to you guys with the super chat in a second. But most crimes happen that tourists are like real fast. Let me get your watch. Let me get your chain. Let me get your whatever it may be, because they want it to happen quick so they can jump on a motorcycle and pull off. And before Rob speaks, I'm going to give a shout out to Will once again for his super chat. He said, I will play go-go in DC. Everybody goes crazy.
He said, if you play go-go in DC every day, you go crazy.
Oh, you go crazy?
Yeah, go-go is for me anyway, every day. That's my music of choice, just because it's my childhood, man, from 13 years old. I sneak to go see Chuck Brown at 13 years old, man. How I got out the house, I don't know. Made it back by midnight. I don't even know what happened, if I got busted or what. But yeah, 13 to see Chuck Brown. But on this,
they looking for you, and they know where you are. Go ahead.
One note you just said on the second phone. I have a second phone. I take the second phone with me. It's just my last Motorola that I have. An old phone to me has no value except in this instance right here. But I was doing something. I was trying to book the Southwest tickets the other night with my mom, and I was trying to call my mom on the other one and using WhatsApp. And it's like, well, if you haven't updated this phone, you need to send authorization. It's send authorization to change my WhatsApp number to the other phone. So make sure you have 2 WhatsApp numbers, because you don't want to let the thief know you're trying to access your WhatsApp. He's not going to call you and give you the password. So make sure you have 2 WhatsApp numbers. Use your voice number or whatever, or make up another voice number if you can, on top of having that extra phone. But I use those phones though, so I have that extra phone.
I like Go ahead, Rob.
The other thing is this flat thing right here. You can see how flat it is. Well, I got some business cards in here, but it's flat. It goes around the waist, straps under your pants. I don't go to another country without this on right here. And it's got two zip pockets on it. Sometimes it's a struggle to take stuff out of it, which is cool. I don't care because you have to unzip it under your pants, but it's flat. So even if somebody feels you around the waist, they can't feel it. Well, they could now because I got a piece of candy or something in there, but make sure you have one of these waist pouches with you for petty thief. Another thing, while I'm thinking on it too, on the same subject, there is a scam where they, like Andre said about the pickpockets, when you see a kid or a lady with a tray of candy, they're holding this out, but it has a strap around their neck. Well, guess what? You don't really pay any attention to the strap, and it looks like they're holding that tray. But because of the strap, they can let a hand go and come around in your back pocket. And I know somebody has got like that. They said they knew it as soon as it was gone, but they disappeared and it was too late. They knew. They said, I knew something was fishy about them. But remember, they're holding the tray like this with candy. You want some chicklet, or whatever they're buying, little fake down ladies or whatever. And that extra, because of the strap, they could actually take both hands off, but they leave one on, and the other one is the one that goes in your pocket. And this happens every day. Also, I put money everywhere. I have money in my sock. Now everybody know I got money in my sock, but you don't know what sock, you don't know where it is, and nobody knows who they know who I am. That's the one place I am recognized.
The audience is English speaking, and so I think you're safe in regards to your sock, because many of us do the same thing.
Yep, decoy. I see my group moderator here, Luis, New York Marine, says, I also carry a decoy debit card. That's another one too. Carry a decoy, old credit card. I got a couple. Take the credit cards with them, put them. Hey, when somebody comes again, it's about speed. Just like Andre said, a thief is about trying to get in and out. So as quick as possible, like the guy that got shot in the face. And I kind of blanked that piece of the video, although it wasn't violent. They hopped off the back of the bike. They ran in. They watched him on the corner because the police have cameras all over Medellin. They watched him on the corner. Watched this guy, tall dude, 6'3" maybe, had a gold chain. Don't wear gold chains, remember? Hopped off and was like, "Give me the chain." Tried to take it. He couldn't reach it. Couldn't get it. And he was moving all fast and jittery. Give me the chain. Give me the chain. The guy's going like this. What? Instead of giving him the chain, snatch it off and giving it to him. That's all he wanted. Give him the chain. Instead of giving them the chain, and he could have just panicked though. I'm not saying he was saying you can't have it, but he just panicked. Whoa, what are you doing? And all of a sudden, give me. Boom. He shot once in the air. The second time, I think he was pointing at him and his finger could have been on the trigger. Boom. Shot him in the eye.
Go ahead,
I blanked it out, but yeah, he did. They say he may lose an eye. So he's lucky to be alive. He got shot in the face and lucky to lose an eye. But yeah.
Point blank. Mm-hmm. And the sad part is it goes back to what you were saying regarding not being fluent enough in Spanish to understand what this person is asking for.
Exactly.
So somebody's asking you for something and you're thinking like, what are you saying? First of all, you're in shock because somebody's got a gun in your face.
Yep.
Secondly, they're speaking Spanish and they're speaking rapidly because they don't have too much time. They want to do this in a few seconds. Mm-hmm. And you're wondering, and they shoot in the air, and you still wonder like, okay, dude, what the hell is going on? And to sit back, the sad part is that it's so dangerous that the person didn't even get, if I'm not mistaken, in the video, the person didn't even get away with the chain.
No.
He shot him in the face and got back on the bike.
Yep. I don't think he tried to shoot him. I think he was doing like this the whole time, but you keep doing like that, something may come out of it. And I think he was just pointing at him. He shot in the air first to let him know, but that was like 3 seconds before, and the guy just panicked. Yeah, he never got the chain.
But I do want to do a quick pause regarding, talking about some of the safety factors, because I do want you to reiterate what you put on one of your latest videos regarding how the mayor has cracked down on crime in a major way in Medellin, and how crime actually is starting to slow down compared to how it was before.
Yeah, there's been this year, and I have to preface it. It is an election year, but I said it in my video. I don't care. Let them have an election every year if it cracks down on crime. They've had more arrests of murderers, more arrests of murderers of foreigners. And they just cracked down. They have they're called lightning actions. So they have them all over town. They have it over years. They have it on 70 in major areas over 33, and they just blast them with like 100 different people, and they come in and check IDs and make sure there's no underage people, because there's some underage girls, guys. There's underage girls there, believe it or not. And some of you know, because I just saw a story before in the group that I think Luis or somebody else posted, that they busted an El Salvadoran for pimping young girls, 15 and 16. So, but they're cracking down on all of this stuff. This year, I'm talking this year from January on, there's been more arrests of these high profile ones, other than the gangster that got away at the airport asking for a bottle of water. That's a whole nother thing. I don't know, and I don't think they're going to catch him either. But all the criminals that have gone after us, so to speak, they've caught the people who have pressed charges against those who have wronged them. The ladies that have wronged them, their cases have come to fruition, and they find them and put them in jail. One girl got 96 months, which is unheard of in the past. But guys have to stay on top of it. Here's the thing, and I don't know if you're going to touch about the druggings, but a lot of people, even druggings, crime, whatever in general, they don't report it. So how can the police do anything about it if you don't let them know it's happening? They know it's happening, but they didn't know what happened to you. So
true.
I put up a denuncia form. You can actually do it online. So I have the app and all that. I mean, the link to the app, and I'm going to go through it. I have a short video, like 2 minutes. I'm planning on doing it tomorrow, the next day. So that, like, especially for the scammer, and you just log in when it happened, all that. So now they know. Now there's a record. So when they do catch this person, there's a record. Oh, this MO fits this MO. Put them two together, and now all of a sudden you got all these people coming together for this one cat. They got to catch this guy. Somebody's got to get this guy. But yeah, the police have done a hell of a job this year. I applauded them. People say, oh, they don't do it, they don't do nothing. I mean, you got good and bad in everyone. We got good and bad cops here. I mean, there's some cops here I don't want to get pulled over by. I see some of these videos. I watch these videos with a cop watching stuff with the body cams, and some of these cops are just wrong. And just like they are there. So it's a percentage of everything that's bad. But yeah, that type of crime has gone down. They've cordoned off Parquilleras. And by the way, when you mention Parquilleras, just one note, DC is structured, the city. It's numbers one way, it's letters the other way, avenues. Avenues are named after states, and they're on an angle. It's easy to find your way around. You're at 6th and E, and you want to get to 7th and E, you go over one block. It's easy. Up, one, over, two, whatever it is, it's easy to count. But when you get in Parquilleras, the park is square or a big rectangle. But once you start going off on them side streets, that's how you get lost. Because
that's how I got lost.
Yeah, it's not like you just make a right, 2 rights, and come right back. No, 2 rights, and you end up in Parque Presidential, and somebody got robbed over there. So yeah, it's not, once you start branching off in them side streets, once you leave Parquilleras, if you're not going towards Provenza, yeah, you can't get lost easy, and you just start wandering around, and people see you wandering. People know when you're wandering. You know, somebody's always watching. Always watching. Now be careful.
Always. That's so true. So true. I have to agree with you 100% in regards to that, because if we're watching and we're lurking and we're kind of be aware of our surroundings, there are other people that are a part of the surroundings, and they're being aware of who's walking through and who's a new face and who's not a new face. And if they see us walking through several times, believe you me, they can find themselves in a problematic situation. Shout out to my man Razor Ray. I want to get Razor up here tonight too.
Razor Ray.
I did not have a connection to Ray's, man. I didn't know if you're doing a live stream tonight. But one thing I'm going to do, Ray, if you are not busy, because I know you on your Friday nights and your Cerveza nights. Shout out to you and your Cerveza nights. If you're not busy, I'm going to put a link in the description right now for you to come up, because I want to hear what you have to say in regards to this matter in regards to safety as well. I was actually thinking about this earlier. I was thinking about Rob Razor Ray, and I actually reached out to David, Life with David. But Dave told me he had something that he was doing. He said, but if I'm not busy later, Andre, I'll hit you up. But I talk to Dave quite often, really good dude. But shout out to once again, thank you for the super chat, Rays. But if you want to come up, man, put the link in the description for you to be able to come up, man, and give your opinion in regards to some of the misconceptions in regards to safety that guys are missing out on. Let's go on to the third one. Numero tres is transportation safety. Guys, all taxis are not created equal. Okay, so sometimes you can't just jump into everybody's taxi, especially if you don't have an understanding of how much it would cost. I'll give you a perfect example. When I first got to Medellin, I'm getting off the plane. I go to the taxi, guy says 70, 80,000 pesos. I'm like, to get to Parque Lleras, I'm like, 70, 80,000. I was like, immediately I call Ace. He said, man, if you don't get that man 60,000 pesos and get on over here,
That's back then.
Right, that was back then, way back then. And I literally turned to him and I said 60,000. He was like, okay. I'm without a flinch, and took me to the Airbnb. I mean, yeah, took me to the hotel. But everybody's out on the hustle. Everybody's out to give you extra price. So a lot of times during consultation, Rob, I'll send the guys the apps. So I'll send them in-driver apps so they can call a Uber or a taxi that, you know, if it's on in-driver or Didi, D-I-D-I, that it has it's already been some form of background check or some type of review on that driver. No matter where Andre and I go in Colombia, whether it's San Andreas or whether it is Santa Marta, we always use in-driver. We get off the plane and it could be 50 taxis right there. We ain't using none of those taxis. We're using our in-driver app or our Didi app, and we're going to send for a taxi driver, and Andre say, well, the last numbers of his driver's license, his license plate is blah, 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 blah. And we've got people coming to us, you want a taxi? You want, no, we're good. In other words, just that little extra step of having the in-driver app on your phone and you be able to reach out and have your own taxi showing up compared to you don't know where this taxi is going to take you. What is your commentary in regards to taxi safety or transportation safety?
I'm a little different. I only use Uber in the city. Well, first of all, from the airport, my tour guide, Andres, with Nomad Travel, does airport and pickup drop-offs for my guys. So anybody who asks me, his information is in the description of all my videos. So you want to say pickup, you know who's picking you up. It's already arranged a week ahead of time. So, or whatever advance notice that you get. But I personally, once I'm in the city, I don't like taxis at all. I only use Uber. Uber is illegal, but it's tolerated. Never had a problem with it. Just make sure you sit up front. Don't sit in the back looking like a tourist. Sit up front. And for me, the whole time I lived there, that was my Spanish class. Every driver, I got to communicate in Spanish and talk. Sometimes it just flowed. It was like, oh my God, I speak Spanish. I mean, it's just like, I understood everything. And then there's sometimes, dude, I don't know what is that? What did you? Sometimes you have a problem. So sometimes they understood, but I only use Uber in town. The problem with Uber for me sometimes was when I was taking dance lessons after work at 6 o'clock. It's their busy time. So the calls may drop and you may end up having to take a taxi at that point. But make sure that they use the meter, number one. And make sure if you're at Lleras or whatever, don't take a taxi that's sitting there. Wait till somebody drops somebody off and then hop in there, but make sure they use the meter. Don't let anybody say it's a set fee or it's a certain amount. And don't take well, now it's a little different. I was going to say don't take a taxi from Parque Lleras, but they can't even get in there now because they blocked it off. So the cars can't drive within the park area. But there's lined up all on Calle Diaz, a block off of the park. So, and I mean lined up all the way down the street. But I would say take one that drop off somebody, pick up that person. So that's my advice on that. I don't take taxis. I think they're raggedy, man. Those little, and by the way, for people who don't know, don't slam the car door. The cars are small and the doors are made out of, I don't know, I'm trying to find a
Paper
piece of
mache?
plastic.
I don't know.
They're very thin, so it's easy to slam. You don't realize you're slamming it, but the doors are thinner than they are here in the U.S. It's not like your car here. So you'll see the driver even reach over and put his arm out to stop you from holding the door, from slamming the door. So I almost always just barely shut it and then have to bump it, close a little bit more. But yeah,
you know what's so funny, Rob? Now that I'm in a habit of not slamming the car door. When guys slam our truck door, bruh, I'm jumping out the truck. I'm like, brother, do me a favor now. Do not slam the truck door. After they do it the second time, man, I'll be ready to snap. I say, am I really Colombian now? Because I'll be ready to snap the off, man. When dudes slam the door, and dudes don't be meaning, because most, as Americans, we be like, just want to make sure the door is closed, and to slam that car door, man, that's taboo in Colombia. That really is. Shout out to Jay Fleming in the building representing. Shout out to you, Jay.
Shout out.
What's up, Jay?
How you doing, Uncle Andre? Long time
pretty good. Pretty good.
See.
You're the one that's on tour.
Yeah. I'm on a bit of a tour right now, so
where
I'm thinking about hitting another city or two before I have to go back to the good old USA. But just wanted to make my YouTube round, say how you doing to all the people on YouTube, and of course to Uncle Andre. How's Cali going?
Things are going pretty good out here in Cali as well. Like I said, we just try to get everybody ready to get their reservations for the festival, for the Afro-Colombian Festival that's in August. So that's just a couple of months away.
Yeah, that's right. In August, it's gonna be lit, as the kids say these days.
Also, for those that are coming down during the month of December, I want to let you guys know flights are already between $550 and $1,000 to come down here to Colombia already if you plan on coming down in December. And it starts on December 1st all the way through. So flights do triple. And my boy who's already scheduled his trip, he just left here, and he's like, man, do you know that flights are already at $550 and $1,000 to come back for December? And so any of you guys that want to come down and see your girlfriends or your wives or some significant others' family for the holidays, start to get your tickets right now, because it is definitely a lot more expensive when you get closer to those dates.
Right. So yeah, and also the Airbnbs shoot up during December. I know they shoot up during December because that's huge travel season, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times what it is also with Airbnbs as well as hotels and the flights. Remember, guys, Colombians, they may go to other countries, go to Spain, United States, Mexico, take care of business, living their lives and stacking their money. And so the only time that they'll come back to see their family is during the month of December. So you'll have all these Colombians coming from all over the world, not including the tourists that are coming down, like the Medellin Christmas lights and coming to Cali for the salsa festivals in December. But they're just regular Colombians are coming back home to see their families, and the flight prices go up like crazy. Have you guys noticed that in Medellin, Rob?
Yeah, same thing. Same thing in the big cities and on vacation, on holidays like this also. I just read today too, Delta is adding new flights from Atlanta to Medellin, I think, or Miami to Medellin, and Atlanta to Cartagena. There's like 4 different new flights coming. So, I mean, it's going to get crazy. You think the fish in the barrel right now? Wait till the holidays. Yeah. And 3-day weekends. And for brothers who live in Florida, man, it's easy for them. Just, they can probably hop off for $200 on Spirit or whatever. It's a little more difficult for me. Otherwise, I'd be there now. But, yeah.
All right.
I can say when they got that straight flight from Tampa to Cali, it was right on time. They got a straight flight from Tampa to Cali and a straight flight from Tampa to Medellin. So that's all I needed. I didn't have to go down to Miami or Fort Lauderdale anymore. I was good. I was good.
Man, maybe I need to move on over to Florida for a while or something like that, because I'm all the way in Cali. in California. Yeah, so that flight's like, depending where I'm going, that could be like 9 hours.
Yeah.
So,
There's some brothers that just left here. They just left, and they're originally from Oregon. And they had a great time. They were here for like 3 weeks. They were taking care of business. You know, they're still working for their companies and everything. But they stayed here 3 to 4 weeks. But they dreaded that flight going back to Oregon because they were like, oh, man, it's going to be all day for us to be flying. But they said it was well worth it. They had a really good time while they were down here. They were, like I always say, I always recommend Airbnbs within the safer areas. Like the Granada areas, as you well know, Granada is really nice, as well as out here out north is a really nice areas. And even some areas out south are really nice. The only reason I don't recommend out south for Cali, Colombia, because everything is super spread out and you need an Uber just to get to a local grocery store. It's just beautiful, but it's just too spread out. I think about if I'm in the country, how do I get to a grocery store? Can I get to it within a 5-minute to 10-minute walking distance? And that's what I like about this side of the city.
Right.
And let me ask you, Jay, in regards to safety, what were some of the things that you did whenever you come to Colombia, because you just left here and going to different cities? What were some of the things that you made sure that you did when it came to, and I'm being specific, when it came to the type of company, the ladies that you kept? What were some of the things that you made sure that, okay, let me make sure I do this to kind of like keep my antennas up?
Yeah, so I mean, for one, you know, you just don't ignore the red flags. I mean, I think a lot of brothers just ignore a lot of red flags. I mean, it's, you know, if you're just, for one, like, for example, like if I'm in Cartagena, I'm definitely, all right, I got 24-hour security. When whoever I bring to my apartment has to check in their ID, you know, so there's not going to be any drugging me. And if you do decide to do it, you're going to get caught. And so it's like, there's cameras everywhere. You know, I'm always making sure I control the situation. Like, you know, if we're going somewhere, I'm either calling the taxi or paying for the Uber or, you know, whatever. I'm taking my Uber, I'm taking my taxi, or, you know, whatever like that. So I'm always controlling the situation, I think, is the biggest part of all of this. And, you know, just stay away from the sketchy women is another thing. I mean, there's so many red flags. If 2 women are trying to hang out with you, you know what's up.
A lot of guys don't know. As soon as somebody says the second girl, can my friend come?
Can my friend come?
Yeah.
This is going to be one or two things. They're either going to try to get you, or it's basically a night out on you. That's what it is. It's either or, but you know, because food calls do happen outside the States, guys. I'm gonna let you guys know. It's not as bad as in the States, but yes, it does happen.
So look out for those foodie calls. And I was waiting for you to I was waiting for you to mention the type of company that you keep also is something that you want to always take consideration as well. Like the young lady that you and I and Andrea, we all went out to brunch. Really nice young lady, gorgeous, and didn't come up from the energy that we received from her. I would be surprised if she was a person that was not a safe person to be around. In other words, she came across very ladylike, very enjoyable to be around. So a lot of guys have to realize that everything that looks good ain't good for you. You have to consider that person's personality as well as, you know, does she look good? You know, do I feel safe around her even though she's fine?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you gotta gauge the energy, and it's like, I guess some people are better at it than others, but yeah, as you can see, yeah, she's a very nice girl. She actually does some modeling, so I knew that about her. You know, for one, make sure you get all their like Instagrams, Facebooks, phone numbers, all that type of stuff. Make sure like you know enough about this person to where you actually feel comfortable going out with them. Okay, no matter how beautiful they are, make sure you know at least a few things. I know a lot of guys just want to get it in that night within 2 hours or whatever, but you know, if she's going to do something like that, she's probably not the best type of woman to be around.
Right, correct. It's just like homie just said. He said everything that glitters ain't gold.
Yeah, you can find a lot of gold though. I mean, but it's just like I said, I think a lot of brothers just gotta take a little bit more precaution, because a lot of people, I hear people talking about how dangerous Colombia is, and I'm like, Colombia is fairly safe if you move in the right way.
True,
in my opinion.
What do you say? What do you say about that, Rob? Because I see you're nodding your head up and down
Well,
as well.
about you got to know how to move. I mean, I don't really feel unsafe, and I mean, I'm recognized in Medellin now, so somebody will walk up to me at any given time. So I don't really have to be by myself. You know what I mean, when I'm walking around. But yeah, I mean, for the other part though, for the bringing somebody home, I'm an older cat. Uh-oh.
Sorry, I kind of dropped something. My bad.
You might want to put yourself on mute.
Yeah, but I'm an older cat, so I'm 60. So, you know, I'm not bringing anybody back to my apartment. I just, no. And first of all, I've only been single 7-8 months now. And even when I lived there, I was kind of teeter-tottering. So I didn't fool around. So, but now I would never bring anybody back to my apartment. That's just me. There's places you can go, but you know, if you need company or somebody, but I would never bring somebody back to my apartment. That again, I'm older. It's about mitigation. I can't get got, man. I was at a bar once and at Yedis Park, in Park at Yedis, a place called Yedis Park, and I'm sitting there, and the guy recognized me. He said, "Oh, Rob, can I buy you a drink, man?" Yeah. So back then I was drinking tequila. Sat the shot of tequila on the bar beside me. But the game was on TV. All 40, 50 of the girls over there, you know, when you look over there, they're all looking at you. Anyway, girl walks over by me as I'm talking to him, and just at the bar, just for a split second, I'm like, well, now I can't drink that drink. I can't get got. Let's just put it that way in short. I can't be the one. I can't do a story on myself. So no, I wouldn't bring anybody back to my apartment. That's the last thing, man. I have nightmares about that. I would. That's just me again. I wouldn't bring anybody back to my apartment, my Airbnb, my hotel, my car, my anything. That's just me again.
No,
guys gonna do what they're gonna do, and they're gonna mitigate as best they can. And I know, you know, most mitigate. But again, first trip out of the country, you know, you walk down there, you're a kid in the candy store, you got money in your pocket, and you find one and they can barely speak a little bit of English, and she tells you where to go and all. And no, I can't. That's sketchy. But mitigation is the name of the game. You know, make things as safe as possible, because again, I don't feel uncomfortable walking around, and I'm recognized. And I mean, if I film, I will have security with me, or which is just a guy that's walking with me, or I have a bunch of guys walking with me. The only way I will pull my camera out now, it's not like it was before. I learned that during COVID. And I noticed as I was watching, people were watching, I said, that's it. I never vlog by myself again down there. And I won't anymore, because that's not going to go back to the way it was. It's not.
No.
So when I see guys walking down the street like this, I go. Like
camera in hand, solo.
Like that couple that got robbed.
All right.
I'm not saying he was a vlogger, but you're not paying attention when you're looking at yourself in the camera and you're focusing on what you're saying. You're not paying attention. It only takes a split second for things to happen. Just like that, when that glass was next to me and I saw the girl come next to me, for a split second, I wasn't watching my glass. So I was not touching that glass anymore. Not going to happen to me, man. That scares the crap out of me.
One of the things I do, and I don't know if you gentlemen, I want to hear what you guys have to say in regards to this. One of the things I do when I go out, you guys come to town, we go out salsa dancing, or we go to whatever spot. I finish my drink, unless even if it's bottle. I mean, my song, I'll be frustrated. I just got a brand new drink, and my song came on, and I want to hit this dance floor. I'll feel like, I guess I'll miss my song, because I am not about to put my drink down somewhere unless I'm at a table and it's like, you know, with you guys, and we're in a VIP section. We got a lot of VIP clubs here in Cali. But if I'm just standing there as just like a regular bar or club and it's just music going, and I'm like, well, I just have to miss my song, because I'm not about to put my drink down and then come back and pick my drink up. What are some of the things that you do, Jay, in regards to safety when you go out to the club and things like that?
Well, I have the perfect strategy. I don't drink.
Oh, there we go.
So yeah, a lot of people don't know that about me. I just don't drink. So it's like that's one way. That's why I always tell brothers it's going to be very hard to drug me if they did decide to try. I mean, obviously they could like slip it in my water or something like that. But that's why I tell people, man, just stay. If you can, stay away from the drugs, stay away from the drinking. I mean, if you are going to drink, make sure you're always watching and holding your drink. Don't set it down, especially around people that you don't know. Even if it is people that you know. Actually, I just had a friend maybe a couple of weeks ago get drugged, and this was actually in Brazil. He got drugged, and he was like, yeah, man, I set my drink down around a bunch of people that I completely trusted and still got drugged. So I was like, man, okay. I mean, obviously they're really out to get you. And I mean, he got all his stuff stolen and whatnot, but you know, you guys got to be very careful. Understand, man, it's not, just you got to move in the right way. That's it.
That's so true, man. So true. One of the things that I also do is I don't have to necessarily close the club down. A lot of guys stay the whole night till the club shut down. Like now in Cali, we got a lot of clubs that stay open till like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. But I don't have to stay there that long. Like I'm like Rob said, he's 60, I'm 55. Jay, he the young one in here, and it's more or less like, I ain't trying to, I had my fun. I got my dances in, and I got my eye candy on. Let me go ahead and drop you dudes off. And one of the reasons why when I go out, I may have a beer, but for the most part, I'm drinking water when I go out because I'm the designated driver. And often here in Cali, and this happened a couple times, police officers will pull you over hoping that they caught somebody drinking and driving so they can get not necessarily a bribe, but they can get lunch money. Let's put it like that. So they can get lunch money. So when they pull me over and they realize that, okay, he's an American, all right. And so they're always surprised that I got my driver's license, my cellular, they're always surprised at how much I have here. And then they run my license. Of course, I have nothing to hide, no tickets or anything. And usually they ask me, have you been drinking? And I'm like, no, because and I let them know I'm the designated driver. Then my line is always, oh, and by the way, my wife would kill me if I get our truck towed because I was out here drinking. So they'd laugh because they can relate to that. But for the most part, I'm just kind of more or less like the designated driver. And this is the funny part, Jay. I can relate to you in the sense of you don't have to drink to have fun. It's a subconscious thing.
Yeah.
Because I've been designated driver for guys for so long, I go out and have just as much fun without drinking as I was having before. Before I thought I had to drink to be a part of the life of the party. Now I don't. Like I said, every once in a while I'll do a beer or two, but then for the rest of the night I'm just doing agua. And so, and I find that I'm having just as much a good time. I'm dancing on the dance floor as much as I did before. So I'm not losing out on anything, and I'm meeting and networking with people just like I did before. So for those guys that think that you have to drink to have a good time in these countries, I promise you, man, I'm starting to realize that it's not a necessary if you're especially if you're a designated driver.
Exactly. Yeah, and then you still got all your faculties. You're aware of your surroundings, and it's kind of like you get to actually enjoy the good time rather than it kind of being alcohol induced, right? So I mean, like I tell people all the time, I have just as much fun. I mean, I just have just as much fun, Andre. So it's but sometimes it's hard to convince people of that. Like, you don't need drugs and alcohol to have a great time. Another thing is you'll attract better women too, in my opinion. It's like when you're drinking, you'll kind of drag out whatever you can get, but when you're sober, you're not going to really go home with the hog beast or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So it's like, that's what I need for the night, because I've been drinking. I got to take something, but yeah, when you're sober, you're not going for all that. You're not going to wake up to nothing crazy.
All right, we'll let me take you off the solo real quick, and you're absolutely correct. Let's bring in my man Razor Ray's in the building. I see
Razor Ray, salute to this brother, man. I see him. He's doing his thing.
Razor Ray, you got it.
No, we gotta get sideways.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up to
like
you, Razor.
You right.
There you go. Where you at?
I know, for real. Between him and one master teacher doing that side angle.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna bring Ray's down and give him a chance to get set. I hope he's getting ready to come up in a sec. Give him a second to come up, pop up, get his Wi-Fi on track. But oh, my bad, Ray. No, there we go. We got Ray's. There we go. He just popped up. There you go. Shout out to you, Ray's.
Salute, man. This guy's doing this thing on YouTube, man. He's the YouTube Jerry Springer.
Ain't he?
Man,
Ray's getting them Oprah views for real.
Yeah, he getting them interviews. He's
I'm telling
Jerry
you, Ray
Springer, Barbara Walters.
He should have twice the amount of subscribers that he has. So anybody here who has not seen him need to click the link and go check him out. He does an excellent job at moderating this, man. I'm a fan. That's been my buddy for a while, man. I'm a fan. Well, I like what he does. I couldn't do it, but I like what he does.
That you know what? It takes a certain personality to do it how Ray does it, and I sit back and I do commend him regarding that. I kid you not. That's a perfect way how you put it, Rob. I couldn't do it, but his personality gels.
It's perfect
well with this audience. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, he moderates really right. He won't let it get out of control. He don't throw out the N-bomb. He don't do. He's not even cursing. I don't think he's just good with moderating at what he does, man. I sat here today, man, while I'm working, and I got him on. Or if I'm out walking, sometimes I'll put him because he can go for like 4 or 5 hours. I can't sit 4 or 5 hours even watch it. But while I'm walking, that's what I'm listening to and laughing, man. He's got some good guests on there too, man. I don't know how he does what he does, man, but he's good. If y'all are not familiar, if anybody watches not familiar with Razor Ray's, you need to get over and check him out. I mean, I don't see how he doesn't have twice as many viewers. I don't see. He should at least have twice as many in this period of time too. Consistency too, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, guys. I know my man Rob's been here for a big. Rob, can you stay a little longer?
Yeah, I'm good for a little bit.
Okay, cool.
What time is it?
I know. It's like 11:37 East Coast.
Yeah. So
all right, guys, we're gonna take a few minute break, and then hopefully Razor get everything up to par. But until then, hey guys, I got some motivation for y'all to get the super chats up. It's been kind of quiet for a minute. I appreciate you guys for showing us some love.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay pues emigrar. Todo money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienen lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios todo lo ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos más lo bueno y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money world. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money world, yeah. El mundo quiere dinero, yeah, yeah. Money world, se arregla con dinero, yeah. Money world, de corazón. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Yeah, de corazón, yeah. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Lunático.
All right. Nice little 3-minute break in the throwback from Kevin Samuels' day.
R.I.P. to the Godfather. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Definitely want to show some love to the original of all this. He said I'm going to try it again. Talking about this Wi-Fi is like Cuba's. Bruh, that Wi-Fi in Cuba is horrible.
Oh. Man, if I got to pull out one of them cards, start typing in numbers again for Wi-Fi. I almost went again before Guatemala. It was like one or the other, and then you know what won over? Wi-Fi. That's why I didn't go to Cuba, because I can't chance not being able to work. And
man, I've heard that it was bad, but you do not know how bad Wi-Fi is until you really are there, and you like. Cuba taught me it's such thing as places in the world that are literally isolated from the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It is a different world, man.
It's like, crazy, man. It's crazy. So once again, shout out to Kevin Samuels, and hopefully we'll get Razor on when he gets his Wi-Fi on track. Let's go to the third one. Third area that we're talking. I mean, the fourth one actually, numero cuatro, which is watch out for the natural hazards or outdoor activities. I'll tell you guys the reason why I talked about this as a safety factor. I remember when Ace Live got to Medellin, and he played basketball, just a regular basketball game, and somehow he twisted his ankle or did something with his leg that it took a while for it to heal. I don't know if he had the money for the insurance or that he wanted to just didn't want to sit around and let it heal. But it took a while for it to heal. It took a few months for his leg to get back on track. And so, guys, remember, if you're going to travel, make sure that if you can, get some travel insurance. But if you can't do everything that you normally would do in the States, because if you don't have hospitalization or if you don't know where the nearest clinic is, you might find yourself in trouble. Another thing, guys, when it comes to your health in other countries, a lot of things that you might need, you'll find in a pharmacy. You don't necessarily have to go to the emergency room here in Colombia. For example, if you need a penicillin shot, straight to the pharmacy. If you have the flu, straight to the pharmacy. They're going to get a shot anyway. If you have any type of infection, straight to the pharmacy. If you need anything for a headache, a lot of stuff is over the counter here in Colombia, so you don't necessarily have to go somewhere to go get a prescription to go get it. Mm-hmm. What has been you guys' experience as far as looking out for yourself as far as your health and any type of physical emergencies or recommendations that you might have?
Okay, so yeah, I'll actually go talk about this because For one, okay, the reason I didn't get health insurance is because I have enough to cover whatever medical expenses I do have, but I highly suggest getting health insurance. And the reason why I'm highly suggesting it, because I actually got in a car accident about, what was that, 2-3 weeks ago in Brazil. So luckily I was fine. No injuries or anything like that, but a motorcycle, I was in the back of an Uber and the motorcycle actually came and hit right where I was at. So it hit the door right where I was sitting. But the good news is perfectly fine. But if something had happened to me and I didn't have enough to cover the medical expenses and didn't have insurance and I'm in a foreign country, that could have turned out really bad.
Especially when you got insurance, and we're going to be presenting some insurance opportunities in next week's video. But especially when travel insurance is not expensive. There's some insurance packages that are out there that a person can really enjoy without breaking the bank. There's some insurance policies that'll cover you for 5 or 6 days for under $100. And if your trip is only 5 or 6 days, or if you're going to be there for a month, there are some policies out there that are really good that will cover you as far as travel insurance for a month or two. So if you want to go that route, is good, but also have a few dollars for an emergency. I notice a lot of dudes make the mistake of not having an emergency fund. I don't care if it's an extra $200. I don't care if it's an extra $300, but to not have any emergency fund and you blow through it, now you ended up like the one dude in DR. You got to go on live streams begging for money.
Yeah, man, that was that one's still wild to me. I'm like,
I need a cash up, fellas. I'll never forget that. I need a cash up, fellas. Try to blame it on DR, blame it on Spirit, blame it on everybody else. He blamed it on the boogie, everybody else but on himself. That damn boogie got me down here, man.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, so that's another thing is I always try to get people to understand, man, traveling, it's a huge responsibility. It's not just, fun and games and women and parties. It's, you got to really think about these type of things. You got to be an adult about it. So
absolutely. It's not just, there's a lot of fun in it, but there's a lot of adulthood in it as well. I think we probably got raises on here. Let's see if we got it.
Oh, raise.
What up? Hopefully y'all can hear me now. I had to cam down.
We can hear you. There you go, Ray.
All right, hold on. Let me get the train, brother. I had to come outside.
Okay. Where are you?
Hold on. The goddamn train's going above me. Hold on. God
damn it. Only Razor got the train, the subway.
What's up, guys? Jay, we got Jay, DC Ball Rob, and Andre. Hopefully all is well with you guys, man. I said I gotta hop on this one. Y'all talking about safety in Colombia.
Yeah, man. Safety in Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
When you coming back to Colombia?
When they ban the motos. Man, that's when I'm coming back. The motos be having me paranoid and walking around Cartagena. I ain't gonna lie. But,
I can see that.
Ahead. Yes, but I really enjoy Cartagena specifically. They have banned some of the motos going into the clock tower area. I'll give them that. Somebody randomly called me the other day and showed me a video. I don't even know the guy, but he got my number somehow, and he called me up. I was pretending I knew him. I didn't know who in the world this guy was. He walked around Cartagena on video call with me, and I was pretending to know who this guy was. But he was showing me, saying, not a lot of motos come around here, Rays. And I was like, okay, all right. So I guess some days they ban some of the motos from going around certain blocks around the clock tower area. Yeah. So he made me feel a little more comfortable. But But once I land, once I'm out there, and once I start drinking some Agalas, you know, I walk around. I walk around, you know, and all those beauties, man. The beauty. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
One of the things that we're starting to see in Cali a lot is not just the guys on the bikes. They're actually training the girl. I've seen a few robberies where the girl jumps off the back of the bike. The guy holds it. The guy will hold. You know, he's the bike person, and the girl comes out with that heater, and she does the robbery. And the crazy part is she jumps on the back of the bike and they ride off. And I also saw the other day in Medellin, in I believe it was Parque Aires area, that one guy was trying to pick up a couple of girls. He had picked up one, and it was one of those situations where my girls come along, and he was like, "Yeah, they all fine. How come they just all turned around and jumped him and robbed him?" Literally, right there, you saw all camera. They just jumped him and robbed him and took everything that he had. And he was tussling with the ladies, but they were coming from, you know, it was like 3 or 4 of them. So they're coming from so many different angles that all they need to do is just snatch the wallet out. They ain't got to tussle. While you're tussling with one, the other ones will try to take the stuff from you and your cell phone or your wallet, and then run off, and that'll be it. It was the craziest thing. So they're so bold now that I like what Rob said earlier, and I want to hear what you have to say about this. Razor Ray and Jay. We'll start with Ray. Rob made a statement in regard that there are safer locations that you could go to in order if you want to do pay for play. And I'm a brothel man. When I was out there and single, I know the price, I know the girls, I know it's safety in here, I know the madam, I know how many rooms it is, I know how much it is per hour. I know I could get her number like if the services were rendered good, and I can say, you know what, you were really good, I can say, well, can we exchange numbers and meet up at a different time to do something? But for the most part, I was like 99% brothels. I want to hear what Ray has to say, Jay has to say, and then we'll anchor with DC Rob. What do you guys have to say about it being more safer with brothels or even and/or strip clubs?
Yes. Well, as far as hold on, let me bring up the chats again. Hold on. Well, let me see. Well, hold on. Blade Runner said, "What y'all doing around the clock tower?" LOL. Hey, I'm going to tell time. You know what I'm saying? I need to know the time out there. Blade Runner, that's what I'm doing. That's a nice big clock there. You know what I'm saying? My watch gonna be working. I'll go over there to tell time. But yeah. But I believe you're right. I believe DC Born Rob is right. The brothels is the safest way. Now, I've never been inside a brothel, but if you're going to do that, pay for play, go ahead into the brothels. You know, I'm quite sure they have a great selection. You know, for you. You know, you don't have to worry about that scopolamine getting slipped inside your drink, because you know they would kick the girl out if they try to run that mess. You know, that's a livelihood. You know, you don't got to worry about getting kidnapped. Also, you know, getting set up, kidnapped. So yes, I believe the brothel would be the proper, you know, method of dating out there in Medellin. You know, speed dating. If y'all don't, you know, I agree, Rob. I agree with the brothel method.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to say, Jay?
Well, I gotta be honest. I don't know much about it. So I've never done the pay for play. So yeah. So I mean, brothel sounds like the best idea if you are gonna do pay for play for safety reasons. So yeah, I would suggest a brothel if you do decide to do that.
Yeah, they're protected. You can't fool with them. But one statement I want to leave you with, I got from Rob from Sweet Georgia Cafe. If you know you can't find the girl the next day, she knows you can't find her the next day.
Right.
So I don't get how you bring somebody back to your apartment. I don't. Maybe I don't trust anybody. I distrust before I trust anybody anyway. I would never bring anybody back to my apartment. That's just not me. But yeah, there's places you can go. Everybody knows where they are. If you don't, just go down. I mean, like I tell everybody, when you go to Medellin, you need to go by Sweet Georgia Cafe. I would assume that Cali has a place like that too, where expats can go. where there's some sort of camaraderie and you can meet new people. Go to Sweet Georgia Cafe, sit down, just sit there during the day when nobody is there. People are going to come and go and talk to people. You got to talk to people. If you don't talk to people, I mean, why are you going? Why are you leaving the country? You got to talk to people. That's part of travel, culture and meeting people and so on. So sit there, talk to some people, man, and you will meet some good people. I'm telling you, I got more good friends in Medellin, Colombia than I do here in the States.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I live here now. But when I was there, that was my spot, man. Every day, I worked there. My first day I went there for work. I was there at 8 o'clock in the morning, 10 minutes to 8 with my laptop. I knew he had Wi-Fi. I was ready for work. And then that was my spot. I leave, go back, shower, come back, and then hang out for a few more hours. But you need to meet other people, other expats who live there that can guide you and teach you the ways and where to go. You know, the help is there. You just got to talk to people. You can't go to a bar and not talk to somebody next to you. Hey, where you from? Do like the scammer. Hey, where you from? I mean, that's a sales technique, really, because it builds rapport. But talk to people. Where you from? I met people that grew up 3 blocks from me. I met a guy that grew up 3 blocks from me in DC off of Georgia Avenue. 3 blocks from me. And it took me to be an adult in another country to meet him. Wow. And then somebody else, another half a mile on the other side. When I lived in Riggs Park, somebody lived on the other side in PG County. So you got to talk to people. You never know until you start talking to people. And once you get your crew, I mean, people will set you up. There's so much information. It's flying everywhere. Just like it flies in this chat, it's flying there, but it's on a one-to-one basis where people can talk to you and they'll tell you where to go. You know, there's certain places that are, they're untouched. You know, they are protected for whatever term you want to use. They are protected, so they're safe. You still got to be safe when you know, if you know what I mean. But they're there. But I wouldn't bring anybody back to my house or my apartment, or that's just me.
That's an excellent point. I've said that in the past, that if you don't bring a total stranger, for the most part, back to your place in the States on the first night, or let me put it like this, total strangers. You know, if the female say, you know, I want to do a threesome, can we go back to your house? If you feel somewhat leery about that in the States, you should also use that same type of wisdom and spidey senses when you're in other countries. And I think that's the mistake that a lot of guys make. Ray, you've done a lot of interviews with guys after the fact. Let me ask you this. What do you find some of the common factors or mistakes that men are making that keeps coming up with some of these guys? Because you'll interview them like after it happens, and you'll get a chance to hear they wish that they had done this, or they wish that they shouldn't have done that. What are some of the common things that you keep, at least 3, if not 2, common things that you come across that during all your interviews that keeps coming up? Like they either keep going to the wrong locations, or they don't know anybody, or they're choosing a girl, these type of women. What is it that you're noticing that's common in some of the interviews that you do?
Well, the number 1 is the dating app, Tinder, and other dating apps out there. That is numero uno. That is the biggest factor of them getting drugged and robbed or even kidnapped. They come on the show, they always mention they met through a dating app. I say 90% of the guys, 90 to 95% of the guys. That's numero uno, number 1. I keep telling people stay off of Tinder out there, because there are gangs out there that are dedicated to setting you up. They have a strategy using those dating apps. You know, they can scope you out for a long term before you even get out there. You know, you think you got you a hot mama, you know what I'm saying? You think, you know, y'all got a good rapport. Y'all been talking for months online. You know, she's very kind and friendly. Maybe even showed you like her brother, her uncle, which is really her boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? And they just trying to wait for you to get out there so they can set you up. And they got a lot of time to plan that robbery. You know, so that's number 1, the dating apps. If you want to comment on that. But all right. Number 2. Number 2 is, man, when they come on, But I guess this goes into it. They let the girls seduce them into thinking that they are normal girls. They're not pay for play. So that's number two. Certain guys are not really they don't intend to do pay for play. So when certain people be saying, hey, you know, guys are just doing pay for play, that's why they're getting drugged and robbed. No, that's not the case all the time.
True.
As with some of my guests that got robbed, they were thinking they was having a normal relationship with the girl, and the girl got him. He got like DC Born Rob, like say he got because the girl was pretending that she was gonna have a long-term relationship, and that's what happened. She got him. He let his guard down. You see, when you know you for pay for play girl, your guard is kind of up. You know what I'm saying? Your guard is more up. You're protecting your stuff, your chica, proofing your rooms and stuff like that. You know, from what I heard, guys, from what I heard, you know, but you know, but when you thinking you got the one that you're gonna marry, now you're gonna have this hot chick, you know, you're gonna show your parents, you know, in the States, but you never make it back to the States with her because she drugged and robbed you. She set you up to get kidnapped. So that's number two. You know, I believe maybe I did a show on this before. Pay for play, might be safer in some instances than dealing with these girls thinking that they really you know, want to have a relationship, you know, some, you know, in certain circumstances. But you know, if you go to brothel or whatever, you know. And what's number three? I know you asked me number three. The third one. All right, third one, guys, we're in the jury. Guys, we're in the jury out there thinking that the jewelry, thinking they could just get away with that. You know what I'm saying? They get too lax out there. Just because you had a great day and comfortable day one day, that don't mean the next day is gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? We're in the jewelry. So let me put you on mute because the train coming. Let me put myself on mute.
Okay. Excellent points. He said the jewelry. He said the websites. He said I'm forgetting what the first one was that he mentioned. Oh, because the apps. The only time I ever recommended an app, and actually an online website, because I noticed that somebody also put in the comment section, which was wise, include in the apps those online websites. Not everybody can use them. The only website that I ever recommended, and I've done a couple of episodes on this website, is Colombian Cupid. Advanced. Now notice this, Rob. I know you're going to shake your head. Advanced settings, and I'll tell you why. With the advanced settings, this person, you actually get to find out how many kids they have, where they live. You could decide on height, weight, education, religious backgrounds. Are they working full time? In other words, the advanced settings is so stringent, it narrows down 2,000 people to maybe 8 people that falls into those qualifications. And so you don't have, but most dudes don't take advantage of that. So I show them, I say, guys, if you're going to do this in Colombian Cupid, do advanced settings. But here's the problem. Going back to what Rob says, dudes don't listen to me. As soon as they go on there, they see all these beautiful women and they like, F what Drake talking about. I'm going to do this, that, and this. So I stopped sharing that advanced settings information because me personally, I had done that when I first came to Colombia. I wanted women, and I was meeting attorneys. I was meeting city council women. I met one woman. She was a woman that traveled the country. She was a professional belly dancer. She had billboards and posters all over the country. I met a woman that was a scientist. I met one that was head of HR for her company. Every single one of them were fluent in English because that's what I was looking for at that time period, fluent in English. And it really narrowed down to, when I was looking, it narrowed down for me like maybe 10 people that met all my personal qualifications. Now, I didn't even need 10 people. I just wanted to meet maybe 1 or 2 people. But I started noticing as I was sharing that information, dudes would still ignore everything that I said. Right. And they would just look for the beauties of the week and the booties, and they would do the exact opposite. And I might as well have told them to go to Tinder. So I just stopped sharing the information because guys are going to do what they want to do, even if you tell them a way that's a little bit more safer. So I just like, you know what? I'm going to just do like Razor, just like Jay, just like DC Rob. no apps, and that includes online websites.
Well, I got a question on that. So this advanced setting, they fill that information out, right? So they say they're a doctor, they have no kids, and they speak English, and they're 5'2", and they have this shape.
But now remember, Rob, I'm pre-gaming, so I'm communicating, conversing with this person months in advance. And if you say that you're English speaker, then okay, let's do video chat. So there's a lot of things. You see what I'm saying? Let's do video chat if you're fluent. You say that you're like, I met one young lady. She was a college professor and an attorney. So when she showed her photos, I could see the team of people that she was with, and the networking that she was doing, and the traveling that she had done already to the States and to Paris as well. So I had her Instagram. So these people that I reached out to, I could go to their Instagram and see, oh, she's been to Greece before, she's been to here before, she's been to there before. Oh, I could see her on stage presenting an award or receiving an award. So these were the type of people. Like when I met one woman, she was the head of transportation for Bogota. She was the one that was in charge of just basically trying to keep the potholes out the road. And when we start conversing, I could see her with photos of her standing in front of a crowd of guys with the hard hats on, and she's in a boss type position. Or I could see her at her office in the city county building, things like that. So for me, it was their photos and being able to talk to them was parallel to what they told me about. Like I said, the professional belly dancer, she was taking she took a photo and sent it to me because it was her first time having her a giant billboard presented for her performance that she was about to do with like a major a major concert, and she was going to be one of the performers there. And so she had a giant billboard and everything. She was so proud of it. So that's what made it easier for me. And like I said, it was easier for me to be able to navigate through 10 people compared to letting my eyes just run around. But dudes never listened. Everybody wanted to do what they wanted to do, and they were looking at the beauty of the weeks that they have in or the most common. They also have in Colombian Cupid, in Latin Cupid, and every one of them, because the franchise is the same. They have like the most common
popular
person. Yeah. And so everybody would run to those. So I'm like, so you guys ain't listening to nothing I just
those
told.
are the scammers. That's
those
why
are
they're
the
popular.
scammers. And so that's why I stopped giving that suggestion, because dudes never really listen. And I'm like, man, I met some really quality women that were fluent in English, had no kids, or their kids were older and out of the house. They owned their own property. These women had cars and everything. These women just doing their thing. And I was like, these are the type of women that I deal with in the States anyway. So it wasn't like I was reaching as far as the type of personalities I was looking for. And so that's not coincidental that, that I met Andrea in the mall, and she's a corporate accountant, tax accountant here, as well as a translator. And so it kind of like parallel to the type of women that I was dealing with in the States. But for most dudes, they come down here with such a thirst, they just ignore, like what Rob say, I don't bring a woman to my Airbnb. Most guys in the comment section are going to ignore that, tell you, man, forget that, because they want the convenience. They want, me and Ray just said, go to a brothel. These dudes going to still go to under the clock tower. They're not going to hear us. Jay just said, hey, kind of tone down your drinking. You can still have fun. These dudes aren't going to hear tone down your drinking. They're going to get to Medellin and shot.
Right.
But the one thing that they can't say is we didn't tell them.
That's the comforting fact right there for me, is we said something. We told you, all of us, we tell you. And if you take that for advice, you do. If you don't, you don't. Right. But one thing, like Razor said, is, these girls playing you for the long con. They meet you on an app, you come down, and next thing you know, you think you had this relationship with this person, and they come over to your house at night. It's not like that. That's what I'm told. It's not a hookup culture. And Andre, you know better than all of us.
Correct.
Probably. This is it. Colombia is not a hookup culture. You're not just going to meet a girl and she's going to come over to your house that night, even though y'all been talking for so long. She's not just going to come over to your house. Somebody asked me today via email or yesterday, what's the best places to go to meet a girl? I'm like, well, first of all, I'm not there, and I don't know. I'm not out there meeting girls, but I would say go to the grocery store.
Exactly.
Go to the mall. Go where a girl got a job.
Yeah.
That solves the first. If you know you can't find her the next day, she know you can't find her. Well, you know where she work. So
right.
And they look good too. I'm telling you, the girl stocking the shelf is an 8, and that 8 is better than 10 here. So
I just made a video about that. Yeah, I just made a video about that, and I'm glad you said that.
Yeah,
because
I'm gonna check that video out, Jay. I'm gonna check that video out.
Yeah. I just made a video about that. Like, me and this girl, she was helping me like with stuff, grocery shopping and whatnot, and then we actually went to McDonald's, and there was like 3 beautiful women working there. I mean, they were beautiful. And then there was like 2 more that were eating there. So I don't know if you remember, Dre, but I forget which live stream you're on. You actually gave up my game. You let everybody know how I do it. You told them what you do is, you go up to them, you kind of ask for instructions. You're like, oh, I'm just visiting out here. I don't know much, translate or whatever. And you just, say, hey, have you ever tried this restaurant over here before? Well, if you're not doing nothing tonight, let's go here or something like that. So,
yep.
That's how I do it. I seen somebody said I was lying about going to brothels. I'm like, nah, I don't. But I'm telling you, I know a lot of people think I'm lying, but I'm really not. I'm telling you, I don't do it. I don't, and it's like
and even my experience was only twice. My experience was only twice because I was meeting so many women. Even this is the funny part. After all my pre-gaming, after all me paying for the advanced setting of Colombian Cupid, after all that meeting these ladies and before I came to Colombia 4 months in advance, conversing with them, getting to know them. One was a nurse in Barranquilla, and I mean just sending me, talking to. She sending me photos of her friends, and then we're talking during a lunch break and everything. And I get to Colombia, I didn't even have time to meet none of them because I was meeting regular women in the grocery store, in the malls, even when I was, because me and Andrea, we love museums. That's how we clicked. I walked up to Andrea and I literally asked her, I'm not here from Cali. Do you have any, do you know of any museum that you can recommend that I will go to? And so she was like, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so. We exchanged names, we exchanged information. Next day, Andrea is taking me to the museum. Once again, Colombians don't date, they hang out. And I think guys have yet to assimilate that with South America. They like to hang out. So let's go get some ice cream. You don't have to take them to a 4 or 5 star restaurant. They'll do a cup of coffee and enjoy your company. They like to hang out. If you take them to a nice restaurant, cool. But if you get them, I don't know what it is about Latin people and ice cream, but if you just get ice cream, man, they love ice cream.
They love ice cream.
They love it.
Yeah, they do.
No matter what country you go to, man, you like, okay, I'm with that. Ice cream cone is like, you're like, oh, it's not going to break the bank. So it's little things like that even if you think that you need to, we're saying this, guys, to let you know, guys, that you're a commodity and you're exotic to them and they want to get to know you. It's kind of sad that the one brother said in the comment section that Jay was lying about going to brothels. That doesn't shine negative on Jay. That actually shines negative on you, brother, for not realizing that when you come here, you're the exotic one. Just like if a Colombian came to our country and they went to Miami, they're the exotic Colombiana. And now you're the American or the foreigner, and you're the exotic person with the New York accent or the Chicago style swag or whatever it may be that they've seen on all these music videos and television shows and movies. And so I think guys take themselves for granted, not realizing that also, and I want to hear what you guys have to say about this after I do the super chat of from Black Nubian, straight out of Canada. He said the apps include, he was talking about this. He said, do the apps include dating websites? Absolutely. Stay away from the dating websites as well. Because in all sincerity, guys, and I mean this from the bottom of your heart, from my heart, and these guys, all of us can attest, when you get down here, it'll surprise you how approachable women in South America are. South and Central America, they are very, very, we've been tarnished because of the States, but they're very approachable. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. We're going to start with Ray and Jay, and then we're going to anchor once again with Rob.
Okay, my fault. My fault. A train was just going over my head again. Now every time I need a train, it doesn't come.
You know, we never get a train,
like
Rob. Ray,
I don't want no train to come. A train is coming every 3 minutes now. When I don't need the train, you know what I'm saying? You know, I just want to come. So you were talking about dating apps. You were talking about the guys in dating apps, right? Yeah.
No, we're talking about how do you feel about how approachable women are in South America or in Central America?
Oh yes. You know what? Well, Cartagena, they very approachable. You know what I'm saying? But even in the malls, even at El Castillo, away from the clock tower, you know, where I go tell Tom at, you know, I need to see what time it is. El Castillo, in the malls, they cool. I can say what's up to them, but I be flexing on them. I have my tank top on after I finish working out. You know what I mean? They are approachable, and I've had a couple of girls, and I got receipts to prove it, that hung out with me after the gym. You know, they are approachable. They're not as, let's just say, combative as some of the girls out here in New York City. You know, you say what's up to a girl out here, she be like, why are you talking to me? Move, go on, go, leave, you know. And now you're like, man, I just said hi, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. So they are more approachable. And this is why guys go, you know, this is why guys go to South America, because generally, now not all the girls are gonna be as approachable, of course, but you catch a good area in South America in some of these cities, and I haven't been to all, so I just get word from the groups I'm in. I'm in multiple WhatsApp groups, so that's where my info is coming from, and this is why guys go, you know, because they have experience traveling out to South America, and they just say that, you know, the girls are just more easy to say hi to, you know. Yep. You know, they won't like try to chop your head off because you said hi, you know, overall. But you know, it can't get you in trouble sometime if you say hi to the wrong one. They play the long game and get you robbed. That's the difference. See, you know, the trouble you could get in with these South American girls is that they can physically do harm to you, because with the drugging, the robberies, and they have guys that'll rob you and like take you on a kidnap ride to empty out your account. So that could be a little dangerous, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I guess you can't live life being in fear though, overall, you know what I'm saying? Right.
You know what? I haven't, me personally, before I let Jay go, I haven't heard of too many guys that approached a regular everyday woman, where she was working in a pharmacy or whether she was working at the mall. He got drugged. I haven't heard of any. I don't know if you guys have heard any instances of a guy that worked, you know, she worked at the ice cream shop or Starbucks, and 2 days later they're coming to arrest her from her job because she, you know, I tell guys that all the time. I said, I have yet to hear the incidents of all. Dude, if you want to meet some dude, oh my God, just the school teachers down here. Andrea's niece, you know, she's 7, 8, 9 years old. So we were always going to these graduations for little kids, or the plays or recital. Dude, some of the most gorgeous women I've seen in Colombia. You swear they were all models, and they were just regular, everyday school teachers. Yeah. Regular school. The police officers we all know are gorgeous women, and many of them are very approachable. And so to like I said, women with careers or women that are just you at exit on the grocery store, when you see a woman with a basket full of food and she's dressed, respectfully. I've never heard a guy say, "Man, I met a girl, man, she drugged me." Where you meet her? At the grocery store.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The regular women aren't on that. It's the party girl and or the pay for plays. That's what I'm finding they're doing the majority of it. What you have to say about women being approachable, Jay, and then we're going to anchor with Rob in regards to this statement I just made.
Okay, so yeah, you actually hit the nail on the head, and before I start, let me say I have no issue with pay for play or guys that do pay for play. Like, I understand it, I get it. I don't judge it. I actually get it, I understand it. I just don't do it. But yeah, so that's one thing is like, I think a lot of guys are a little bit timid when it comes to cold approaching or talking to women just walking around. I think the dating apps are much easier to do, so that's why guys do it. So it's hard to understand why I don't do pay for play, because I'm not afraid to actually go up and talk to women. And one master teacher can actually attest to that. I've actually did it right in front of him. He was actually surprised. He was like, "Oh shit, he's over here just cold approaching." So, because we were at a restaurant, we were being served, and the girl was kind of cute, so I got her number. So he was surprised about that. But anyways, yeah, man. So you can approach them in the mall, approach them in McDonald's, and that's the main way that I believe that you're not going to have any real issues, because, like you said, where she works, for one, and if she's actually working at a job, she's probably not in that lifestyle. Oh snap! What happened to something happened to my camera.
It happened literally the split second I put you on solo.
Yeah. So it happened to my camera. So my camera went off. But here, I'll go ahead and turn off my cam. But yeah, so it's like when they have careers, they're not trying to lose it over drugging you. Okay?
Correct.
Because they got their own. So that's the main reason. Like you said, I've never heard of someone being like, "Oh, I met this woman at some restaurant and then she drugged me." That I've never heard that happen.
And they're what's so sad that I heard, and maybe some of you guys have heard this. Some of the ladies that work in a restaurant will give you the number right off or exchange information with you right off the gate. Some of these guys will insult themselves by asking, "How much is your price when you get off work?" Instead of just asking the girl for a phone number and say, let's hang out. These dudes are so insecure that they think that the waitresses at the restaurants, at the Hooters or whatever it may be, and I've seen dudes come up on some of the hottest Hooters chicks and with ease, and to sit up here and assume that you got to come out of pay, like in a pay for play way, right out the gate, is just so uncalled for.
Right.
So uncalled for.
Yeah, and it's strange, man, because, and I keep trying to explain this, most women are not pay for play. This is what people aren't getting. It's like the ones that you're running into are pay for play because of where you're at and where you're looking.
Yep.
But the overwhelming majority of women are not pay for play. So if you're walking up to the girl with a bunch of tattoos and a short skirt, and she's standing on the street talking about "Hola, baby," and you're like, I wonder if she's pay for play. Well, yeah, she's pay for play. But if she's working in a grocery store, a restaurant, McDonald's, Burger King, somewhere like that, chances are she's not pay for play. And then the worst case scenario, honestly, if you really need to know, you just ask her, "Hey, are you prepay?" And she'll most likely just say no, and be like, "Okay, good," because I don't really date people. I don't date prepay women. That's what I always say.
That's
whenever
a good point.
Do need to ask.
Have you ever had a woman insulted after you made that statement?
Yeah, but very few. Very few, especially after I explain why I say that. I'm just like, "Hey, kind of had some experiences where, I was talking to someone and, turns out she was pay for play." So that's why I ask now up front, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, I understand."
All right. Let me get real quick. We're gonna go to Rob, but then before then, we're gonna go to Diego with the 1999 super chat. Shout out to Prince, 1999. But and I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate all you guys that are supporting, you guys that are in here. We're gonna be here for another 20 minutes. That's okay, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And hey, shout out to Jaman and Ebba Bean. I know they were saying what's up. Shout out to those two guys, and shout out to everybody in the chat though. Shout out to everybody in the chat. But Jaman and Ebba Bean, salute to you two guys.
All right, shout out, some good dudes. All right,
Well,
DC Rob.
Yeah, I would say one thing that's missing. Anybody in here that watches my channel know there's 3 things I say you need to learn before you go to Colombia. Learn Spanish, learn Spanish, learn Spanish. Because the whole time y'all talking and nobody mentioned the fact that you all are talking to them, but you're talking to them in Spanish, not in English. Because you can't walk up to a girl at the Jumbo or the Corullo or the Éxito and not speak Spanish. You need to speak some Spanish. True. It's serious when you get there. But anybody, an old lady on the street, the guy sweeping the street, the guy on the corner, the guard that's in your neighborhood, are friendly people. They will help you. I was walked the first time I learned what an ATM was, because I'm going ATM. Nobody knew when I first moved there. Where's the ATM? ¿Cómo? ATM. ¿Qué? Until I had to learn. I had automatical. That's why I teach. That's the first thing you need to learn. Is where can I get some money at? But they will walk you to the ATM. Mira. Come, but you need to ask them, me preguntas. ¿Puedes ayudarme? And ask them, can they help you? And start talking to them. Can I practice my Spanish with you? And people are friendly. But I think a lot of the guys go to the areas, we know where they are, for convenience. They don't have to work. They just spend their money. But it's just, and just like the guy that emailed me, where's a good place to meet him? It's just like here, go to the mall. But if you don't talk to him, it's the same as there. You're not going to meet him. You gotta lose that inhibition and just say, F it. Hey, how you doing? My name is so-and-so. I'm saying here, you got to say that. There, you need to say it in Spanish. Mi nombre es, and tell him I'm learning this. I live here. And that's another thing that we didn't touch on, because I don't know if Jay lives there. I would assume he does, because when people see you in a routine, then they know you. It's not as easy as, you're probably not going to get a date that night if you're just a visitor. Because from what I understand, they don't like people who come and go. Why would they date you if they know you're going to leave next Friday?
That's true.
That's
true.
So it's and there's a stigma associated with that too. And I don't know if you saw the video I did a couple of nights. Hell, I had to come up with the first time in 4 years, a stock response, because he got heated because this chick was saying gringos go home and stuff. I mean, there is that thought from a lot of people, but they see, they're generalizing because that's all they see in that area, and they think all gringos are that way. And gringos is not white; it's all foreigners. So they think everybody is that way, but it's not. So I'm very conscious wherever I go, Thailand, Vietnam, Dubai, wherever I go, I'm very conscious. These people may not have ever seen a black person before. So let me be on my P's and Q's and let them know for the next person that come behind me that, hey, they're normal guys. They're good guys. Kids look at you like, they ain't never seen Chocolate Man. Some of these places you don't know. Colombia's a little different. But I would say the one thing that we were missing in the rotation is that everybody that's talking to them are talking to them in Spanish. So you have to be able to speak Spanish if you're going to go down there. And then number 2, just have the guts to walk up to them and start talking. It don't cost a thing. Like I'm a salesperson, so I take rejection for a living. That's what I do. So no just means, okay, not the right one. No. Okay, ding. Okay. And then you just need to work on it, because I from what I understand, it's not a hookup culture. You're not going to meet a girl tonight or tomorrow night. You may have to meet the family, and who knows what you got to do. It's best to get introduced. Like I broke up last fall. I told my dentist in December, I said, Carlos, I broke up. He said, oh, I got to hook you up. Get hooked up. So that's people, your wife knows people, her cousins and cousins and cousins, and you get hooked up. And there you go. There's your introduction. You don't even really need to work for that. You just need somebody to give you the hookup. But living there and being in a routine where you shop at the same Jumbo all the time, like I did, so I see the same girls all the time at the same Jumbo.
Right.
You know, but but I didn't back then. I wasn't even there for that. I was just going for the peace. But yeah, you can't be shy. Let's just leave it at that. Speak Spanish. Learn Spanish, and don't be shy. You got to use it. And sometimes you struggle with your Spanish, but they'll help you. People, they're very friendly people from what I can tell. Get into a neighborhood. Get away from parquilleras. If we could just stop saying parquilleras or stop saying setenta and just go to Colombia. I mean, go to Medellin and stay in Laureles or Belen and walk around. And like we need to go over stradas and, 3, 4, and 5. I mean, 4, 5, and 6. We need to go over what a strata is sometimes. Guys need to know what neighborhoods to go in and stay away from. But True. It's just as easy as having the guts talking to a girl. It's simple as that. The same as here. No different. But they're ruder here. Who are you talking to? You're probably not going to get that there. They'll be friendly. Even if they're not interested, they'll still smile and be friendly.
Right, exactly. Yeah, don't be afraid to go up and talk to these girls. I'm telling you, man, you're missing out on a lot by, just trying to do it over dating apps.
Yeah. Because I've gotten some of the most, when I was single, I've gotten some of the most respectful rejections that you ever want. You felt like it wasn't even, it didn't feel like a rejection. It felt like, okay, next, just like you say, Robin, in sales, because they don't raise their voice, they're not insulting, and 9 times out of 10 is because they got a dude. If they're on the market, you're gonna get that number. Or
exactly.
You're gonna get that Instagram or Facebook information. If they're single, guaranteed, because even if they aren't interested, they got sisters that they want to hook you up with as well, or friends, especially if you talk about, going out to Roomba to have a good time and just enjoy yourselves, or just little things, or you're just trying to learn the city. They love showing off their country. That's the other thing. Just opening up doors is just the fact that they get a chance to showcase their country, whether it be the restaurants, whether it be the food, whether it be the music, or geographical locations. So the only time that I got rejected, each one of them basically they got somebody.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was cool. And like we were just saying, the women that you will meet, when guys ask me, let me put it like this, I don't want to sound like I'm rambling. And maybe some of you guys can attest. For the most part, when guys ask us, what do you meet the good women in Cartagena or Medellin or whatever part of Colombia? It's almost like, dude, just walk outdoors. That's what you really want to say. Just literally just walk outside and just walk up to somebody, because it's that easy to get to know somebody.
It's funny you said that, because once somebody asked me, because I had a video up and they're like, man, how'd you pull that off? I was like, I walked out of my Airbnb. And they're like, no, how did you pull it off? I'm like, no, legit, that's what I did. Like, I'm being serious. And it's like, it's hard for guys to imagine, like, just walking out of your Airbnb and then going up and talking to some girl, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
But she's so beautiful.
That is sales 101. You got to leave the house. Nobody's ever knocked on my door and offered me anything, really. No one's ever knocked on my door. Let me give you this. You got to leave your house. And it's simple as that. As soon as I get outside the door, I mean, you made me think, I got rejected the other day at the HEB here, the local grocery store. She was Hispanic too. And it was one of those, I was like, when I saw her, I was like, oh, I'm talking to her. I said, I'm talking to her. And she, oh, I'm so sorry. She let me down so nice. She said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm engaged. And I saw her finger. I was like,
well, you knew she was scooped off the market in the States. Mm-hmm. But you know what's so funny? And guys, let me know. Each one of you guys, let me know. Now you walk up to Latin women in the States subconsciously now. It's so much ease compared to, prior to being in Latin countries, at least for me, and I was around Latin people. Like I say, all my friends in the States were basically Colombian. But now when I went back to the States as a single person, it was funny. I could walk up to Latin women. It was more subconsciously just being attracted. Even dude, I was meeting Afro-Colombians in the States after I came to Colombia, discovered Afro-Colombians, and all of a sudden the universe started sending me Afro-Colombians. I remember I met one for Halloween, and she had just got to the States, and I just walked up to her and I said, you and I got the perfect Halloween costume on. And she said, well, what's our costume? And she didn't have a costume on. I said, our costume is a couple. That's our costume. We're a couple. And she thought it was the cutest thing. And we just exchanged numbers, danced the whole night. But is it just me that you find it a little, even though I was dating Latin women prior to, I guess, but do you find it a little bit easier, or subconsciously you find yourself gravitating towards a lot of Latin women and Afro-Latin women in the States compared to going to Latin countries?
Yes. So, yeah, prior to me even coming to Colombia, like, I was always dating foreign women. For some reason, I would always date foreign women. Well, I know what reason, obvious reasons, but I live in California where there's a lot of foreigners. So, I mean, I'd be dating German, Brazilian, Mexican, whatever, like Turkish, all types of different ones. And you just notice how differently they treat you. Like, it's completely different than actually dating American women. I mean, they're a lot more catering and they're beautiful. And you're like, wow, like, you look this good and you act like that. That's amazing. So yeah, so it's I mean, I think you are what you attract, basically, is what it comes down to. So once you actually kind of get into that culture, yes, you're going to start attracting more women like that, even in the States.
So true. How about you, Race?
Oh yes. Well, I was kind of just sitting back, listening and enjoying, sipping. But yes, now I have a question. All right. Well, and also your moderator, Stefano De Mera. I like that name because there was an actor on Days of Our Lives, a soap opera I used to watch. Family. Great villain, Stefano De Mera. He recently died. He passed away. So rest in peace. But that's a great name, Stefano De Mera. That's your moderator, right? So a great name. I don't know. Some people probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But yeah.
Okay. The question was centered around: do you find yourself, now that you've traveled to Latin countries, do you find yourself gravitating towards Latin women a lot easier now that you're back in the States?
Well, you know what? Before I started traveling, I used to have crushes on Latin women anyway. My mama used to say, "Hey, Rays, why you always like the Dominican girls? You know what I mean? Why you always trying to get with the Dominican girls? So I had crushes on Dominican girls anyway before I even started traveling to Latin countries overall. But when I started traveling, I saw now you gotta be careful. I saw how more easier it was to approach them. Overall. Like DC Rob just said, he approached one today or earlier yesterday or today, and she said, no, me married, whatever. Well, she was married, that one, but it can become stressful to certain guys when they are trying to approach girls here in the Matrix, aka USA, because like I said, some people don't like rejection. That's the thing, right? Rejection, or scared to be rejected. Their ego gets killed. They confidence get killed. But so when you do travel out abroad and you get used to getting the girls to at least talk to you or date you more easier, when you come back, you might have a sense of confidence. But it might get busted soon as you you go up to a girl, a Latin girl, and she just ignores you. She don't even, you say hi, she just say and just keeps walking. That could like just burst your bubble. So but I think in the beginning, you might have more confidence to talk to some of these Latin girls out here in the Matrix, aka USA, after going to a Latin country, seeing how more easier it is to talk to them. But once you get back, how they say when you drive it on the freeway, right? And you at what 55 miles per hour, 60, 70 miles per hour, and then you get back to the local streets. you still going pretty fast. You got to remember that now you're in a local street. You can't, the speed limit only 25 to 30 miles per hour. You know, you got to slow down. It's not the same. You know, it's not the same as it was on a freeway. You know, so man, yeah. So I can see your analogy with that, Andre. You know, it you know, you would come back and think you can be Rico Suave and talk to these Latin girls out here like you did out there. You know what I'm saying? But it's different.
What about you, Rob?
That's a good analogy right there.
Was.
I'm thinking of we got highways here where college kids come blasting when they get to Houston, they still going fast. So I get that. I've dated, man. I don't just be nice to me. I don't care who she is. But I mean, my wife was Hispanic. My last 4 were Black, Puerto Rican, Dominican, and Filipina. I don't care. I don't care what color they are. All they gotta do is smile or just, you know, you attract what you think about. So whatever you focusing on, whatever you're thinking about in life is what's gonna appear. You still have to talk to her though, because chances are she ain't gonna walk up to you here. I don't want to call any color or any race out here, but some of them are a little bit more rude. And like Razor said, you know, they can crush your spirit. I mean, they can crush your spirit.
Bring you back to reality.
If you walk into one and then another one and it happens again, you'd be like, man. I mean, I know some guys, think about it. Girls don't have any idea, men. We have to take that chance all the time. But I learned that when I used to dance when I was 18 years old, man. I go, would you like dance? Would you like dance? No. Would you like dance? No, my feet hurt. Would you like dance? No, not now. Would you like dance? No. Next, I start dancing. All of a sudden they see you can dance. Now they want to dance again. No, I'm good. I'm good now. No. But yeah, you have to be able to approach them. Whether they reject you or not, you can't take it personal. They don't know you. That's the main reason you got to understand. They don't know you. So when they reject you, it ain't personal. You know, when somebody thumb you off and curse you out on the street, they don't know you. So it ain't personal. It's not you. I think we take things personal sometimes. You talking about me? I don't take, you know. And so I think you just got to approach them and not take no as a negative. It's just not the right one or the right time. And go next. Hey, next. You may see somebody 5 minutes later, but if you get depressed and you start spiraling, I think you start spiraling out of the wrong direction. Now, just like you meet a girl and she give you the phone number, now you think, shoot, I need to start asking everybody in here their phone number. Now you pumped up and you get all hyped up over it. So it's just what direction you want to go in. I mean, I choose up. I got my bad days now from other stuff in the past, last relationship, but it won't stop me from walking up to nobody at a grocery store. That's for sure. Especially if she smiles and I appreciate that. Yeah. But got to talk to him. Leave the house and talk to him.
I mean, I found myself when I went back to the States for a few days, I'm going to all the Latin grocery stores subconsciously. I'm going to Latin restaurants. I knew that it was time for me to leave when I got me and my Uncle Jeff, Ghostface Jeff, that's usually in my chat, right? I mean, it's usually watching the live stream. He's working tonight. And we went to a bar, right? And this was a beautiful bar. I mean, it was by the airport in the middle of nowhere. Literally in the middle of nowhere. 2 gorgeous barmaids were sitting at the bar. And we just chopping it up, having drinks, talking to them for the longest. And so I started talking about where I live and so forth. And they were like, "You from Colombia?" "Oh my God, we're from Colombia." And I'm like, "Oh, see, you know what? The universe is telling me that, you know, it was, you know, out of all the places to go to and meet these 2 barmaids I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm about to go home, Jay. I'm leaving tomorrow. I was scheduled to be in the States for 3 weeks. I couldn't stomach it for 3 days. I literally left the third day. I couldn't take it. I thought I could stomach it. I thought it was, like I say, United States is the girl that I once took to the prom, but she don't look like that no more.
Right. I know what you mean. That's why I keep extending, man. I was supposed to be back in the States like a month. I was supposed to be back in the States a while ago, but you know, I'm still out here. Like, man, what you doing here? Ain't you supposed to be gone? Your visa up yet? What's going on?
There's so many countries.
Yeah, man. I'm all in Brazil, and yeah, my family calling me like, "You still alive out there?" Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
That's another way to even I like how Stefano put that, buying groceries from Hispanic stores. That's another way while you're in the States is somewhere start to practice your English or even reading the labels. That's and I'm so, it's kind of funny. I'm so used to, oh, Jeff is here. My Uncle Jeffrey, who I was telling you about, who we went to the bar. And that's when I knew, I said, man, it's time for me to go. And so, but when you go into grocery stores, that you actually can practice your language, because a lot of times they'll be the young lady that's at the counter, she speaks fluent Spanish, whether she's from Puerto Rico, whether she's from whatever it may be. And so you get a chance to practice your Spanish in the Spanish speaking environment long before you actually even come back to Colombia. So you don't necessarily have to be in South America to practice your Spanish. Now that you build a foundation, go out into the United States and kind of, hone your craft. I got a couple of friends that have done that. They started, with dating apps in the States, and then they purposely will go to the grocery store in the Latin communities, because it allowed them to purposely push themselves to get better with their Spanish.
Right. Yeah, I'm always in my accent when I go back to the States.
All right, we're going to do the closing words, closing statements in regards to you guys. We're going to do the same round circle. We're going to do with Razor Ray and his trains that we never hear. And
well, yeah, it's like I hear them coming. I put the thing on mute so you guys won't get all all them the wheels and everything just making noise. So yeah, man, it's been great. Great conversation. Like I said, everybody needs to travel, but travel safe, like DC Von Rob says. And I think y'all do a great job, warning people about, the dangers of traveling. You do
a good job.
Well, yeah, they say we fearmonger. I'm happy. I'm happy to be a fearmonger, because me fear-mongering, people have it in the back of their head that they must watch out. Even though they're going to go still have fun, at least we putting something in the back of their head. They're like, you know what? I do remember that fear-monger Razor Rays talking about them damn motos. So, it's a healthy fear, Yeah, it's a healthy fear. And I appreciate all you guys, man. And I appreciate the invite up here, because I wasn't going to do no YouTube tonight. I was just chilling, relaxing, gonna sip on some cold ones and listen to all y'all, talk, So I really appreciate the invite
hey,
and
Ray,
the people in the chat.
Hey Ray, I need you to do me a favor, man. I'm about to put into the chat my email address. I need for you to email me so we can exchange numbers, man. The only reason I thought about you right out the gate, man, I was like, man, I wish I could catch up with Ray. And it's just so amazing how you popped up. That's why I was like, oh yeah, let me put this link out here. And it's always good to have Jay up here. Right. Let me hear what you have to say in closing, Jay.
So yeah, I appreciate you having me up as always, man. It's always good catching up with you, talking to you, because you're always dropping gems for the brothers. So we really appreciate you doing that. You're like the uncle that actually looks out for all the brothers, because there's some of the older guys, it's some jealousy and animosity towards the younger guys, but that's what I always said that I appreciated about you, is that you did more of the guiding to these younger brothers and trying to guide them through this whole travel journey. So yeah, in closing, man, like I said, I just want you to know I really appreciate you, Dre, and everything you do.
Oh man, I appreciate you, man. Nothing but much love for all of us.
Definitely. All right, man.
We got the one, the only DC Rob.
Hey, thanks to you, Dre, for bringing me on, man. This was fun. I was just chilling tonight too. I do want to say my 3 things you need to learn before you go to Colombia, and that's learn Spanish, and 3 tools I was going to show you that I set out earlier too. A door lock that actually locks your door. I have a video on that somewhere too. Also, hidden cameras. Watch your stuff, okay? I got 3. That's right. I travel with 3 hidden cameras when I go, because if one come up missing, the other one will catch somebody stealing it. But the last one,
Right.
and the number one thing that if I can impart to anybody as far as being safe is when you check into a hotel and they give you these cards that has your key inside it that says room number 2508. If you drop this in public, this is like losing your key with the address on it. And if you lose it in public or they take it from you in public, they know you're not home. This right here will save you, I don't know how much. So as soon as you get this, remember your room number if you can. I'll take a picture of it. I take a picture of everything. Take a picture of it. And just in case I forget and got to go look back look at my camera. But at least even if somebody steals my camera, they wouldn't have the key. And obviously put that in a different place. But as soon as you get this, remember the number and throw it away. Or don't take it out of your room. Put it that way. Don't take it out of your room. Take it out of its case and take it with you. But these things will get you hemmed up more than anything. So I'm going to leave it at that. Just travel, man. Travel, guys. Travel. But travel safe. That's it.
Let me ask you this, Rob, before you go. Have you thought about doing an updated video on what you just showed us and other little things, little items like the pouch that you mentioned? Like I have one of those pouches that you have too. I got one for me maybe 4 years ago. So I'm with you on that one. Have you ever thought about doing an updated video? Because you know how YouTube works. You may drop a video that was seen last summer, but how many of our new subscribers ever go back to our old content?
Exactly. My mom told me this the other day. You should re-show some of your older videos. I'm like, well, if you go too far back, you'll get sick watching it because I was holding the camera and drinking on the balcony when I lived there. I mean, literally, I look at them and I get nauseous. But there are some, like you said, like a year ago or 2 years ago, there's probably 5,000 subscribers that didn't get to see it. So yeah, I do need to rerun some of those, and I am actually starting to do that now. Like I do have a top 10 list of tools that I don't travel without. Certain things I don't go without, man.
That's great.
My bag is, man, well, you have no idea what's in my bag. I'm one of those, I'm not a doomsday prepper, but I'm prepared. I'm prepared for travel. I'm a professional traveler, man. I travel nationally and internationally, and I'm going and coming. And yeah, my backpack, man, you have no idea. I got every little thing you could possibly need, man. If I'm in a spot and the only thing that can save myself is a Q-tip, I got one. Or a safety pin, I got one. So a zip tie, I got one. Or some duct tape, I got it. I mean, I'm prepared. I'm about the most prepared person I know. That's why I always stuff my luggage. But yeah, I need to rerun some of those videos, I know. And I'm doing that over the next week or two, as a matter of fact, unless in between whatever news may pop up. I'm on it.
And plus, since you ageless, you know, you can show those photos, those videos, and it's still like you dropped it yesterday.
No, I'll run my last videos from a year ago, and you'll think I was fat. I dropped 22 pounds since last January.
Wow,
I'm keeping it off, man.
I've dropped 30, 35.
Damn.
I came here to Colombia 260. Yeah, I was 265, man. 6'3", 265, looking like Orca.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah, man, I got to keep it off. So I'm all about health now. What I ingest, man. I'm big time. I'm overboard right now, walking and lifting. So
That's
yeah,
me.
I'm trying to get off my medication. That's the goal.
Yeah, I just got my Tailor-Made Dreams was so proud of itself with its cholesterol being low. I got here, my cholesterol was 179, which was very bad. Mm-hmm. And even though some people have cholesterol level as high as 400, like they're about to pass on. So I was 179. Then I did everything I need to do as far as eating healthy, drinking healthy, and living a healthy lifestyle. And I went down to 97, and I just got my results today, a couple of hours ago.
Wow!
And now I'm at 88.
Congrats!
As far as my cholesterol level. So these little things taking care of our bodies, man. And like I always say, also, you got to take care of your body. Let me take you off of the solo cam. But you got to take care of your bodies, because if you're going to be out here dating these young gals that's under 40, hey, you got to have that stamina, bro. Mm-hmm. So you cannot be healthy and be with these ladies.
It's work, man. It's work. It's
It is
daily
worth it,
work.
too. Mhm.
Man, broccoli don't taste good, but it's healthy for you, man. Nuts and
Yep.
berries and all this stuff, man. I'm hardcore, man. I wanna be healthy and feel good. I wanna feel
That's
good.
true. That's
So,
true.
Yeah. Gotta take care of your health, man. I'm in better shape, I'd say, than I was when I was 40. For
I
real.
can say that. I can say that too.
Even 6 months ago. Shoot.
Yeah, I can say
Yeah.
that too. Shout out to my man Anthony for the $10 super chat. Not even super chat, super sticker for the love of the game. I appreciate that, man. Just shout out to you, man, and all that you do. We're about to wrap this up, guys. We're up out of here. We were at the 3 hour, 6 minute moment, and I'm about to relax for some time with Mrs. Spence once she get home from. I think she just got home from hanging out with her mom and her friends, and so now I'm about to hang out with her. It's been great having you on board, Rob, man. I kid you not, man. Continue to enjoy your trips and continue to encourage dudes, because we are making a difference whether we realize it or not with giving these safety tips. You, Razor Rays, Jay, make sure you all subscribe to all the channels. The links will be in the description. I'll make sure I'll have that. And you guys continue to be encouraged. We're up out of here. It is Friday night drink in hand. So you guys enjoy the rest of your drinks.